Hello and welcome, all viewers, to another exciting Onslaught series here, a tournament on the Fight the Tide channel. This time for charity, though it's an exciting cause. We'll get to it in just a bit, but I'm Corbeck. Alongside me here today, two new voices here in the shoutcasting booth with me, Lonk and Exon. Welcome, both of you. So happy to be here with you folks as we get ready for this one. And Exon, let's start with you. What are you looking forward to here today?
I mean, this is one of my favorite days to see. I love seeing this kind of like high level play, especially in Dutch. I know we have some teams that are new to this tournament, so I'm hoping to see new strats, some new weapons that haven't been used before, and I love myself a good last minute clutch.
We had one of those yesterday. It was very exciting. It didn't quite work out, but it was impressive to watch. And Locke, what are you in for here today, my man?
I mean, I think that's the coolest thing is I just love to see how much money we can raise for charity. It just shows like how united we are as a community and how inclusive we are. And also, as Exit said, there's a lot of players here that have not necessarily been competing for a long time, and it just sort of goes to show that Vermintide doesn't really ever die. There's new people coming in who are welcome to the community, show them the ropes, and they like fill our slots in tournaments, help us raise money for charity, and that's just a cool cycle to see, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. And speaking of charity, let's take a look at a charity here today. Now, Exon, I know you were one of the people, I think, who was organizing our donation efforts. So what can you tell me about APOPO? I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that right.
Well, yeah. APOPO is basically a charity that trains giant African pouch rats to detect tuberculosis and also to detect landmines, which sounds scary, but the reason they use that is because the rats themselves are not heavy enough to set anything off.
Right.
And rats are very intelligent and very trainable. So it just feels like it fits into Vermintide so well. And I believe with everything combined as of this moment, we've reached about $5,000 in donations.
Wow. That's very impressive coming out of the Fight the Tide community.
That
really is. It's a niche community to begin with, so good job out there, folks. And yeah, obviously we'll have links in the Twitch chat for people if you want to donate here today, and we'll also have obviously information on the Discord. But yeah, APOPO, I heard about them all the way when I was in an undergrad taking human rights classes. They do a ton of work in Southeast Asia, Africa, and the Middle East to demine, which is a really huge cause. And I think they've expanded to tuberculosis detection as well, which is quite crazy when you think of it. So everything today in the name of APOPO, which is great. Killing rats to support rats. It's a little counterintuitive, but that's all good. But it's tier 3 and tier 4 today, which means our hardest difficulties are on display. And as such, we have an appropriately, I would say, difficult map pool here for these teams. We can take a quick look at it here on the stream. So this is a tier 3 map pool: the Pit, Mission of Mercy, Righteous Stand, and a Quiet Drink. A sober edition. I think you guys have removed the drunken aspect of it. But Lonk, what can you tell me here about the T3 map pool?
Yeah, I like this T3 map pool. It's pretty exciting. The Pit is kind of just a very classic map, like everyone's played the Pit. Everyone has, great or horrible memories of the beach and trying to get past the beach. And I'd say the mid event is really exciting because Dwans Plus, I think, has just the right amount of pressure where you can actually hold that mid event rather than kiting it. And it'd be really cool to see teams try and burst through it. Just kind of be a very chaotic display. Mission of Mercy is a oddly difficult map. It's a map that you wouldn't think is difficult because a lot of what makes the map hard is is the space hard to fight in? And you would think that a bunch of indoor areas that don't necessarily have the best angles for specials to attack you would be not that bad, but in the end it actually ends up being kind of tricky because a lot of the hold spots are pretty sketch. So, like, I think it's going to be definitely, a test of frontlining there. Righteous Stand is another classic map, when you're learning.
Oh yeah, we
learning
saw it
Blonde,
yesterday
they always
too.
run you through Righteous. Yeah, yeah. So people know the deal with Righteous, and I think that's just, again, we're going to see some great kiting there on Righteous in both the mid and end event, and of course, just a map we're all super familiar with. And if you haven't seen this level of content before, you haven't seen like Dwans Plus, Dutch, etc. And I think, Righteous is a map that everyone played as their very first map, so you can immediately have that association and sort of see.
Sure.
Right, like, oh wow, this is what these modded gamers are doing, right? Quiet Drink, I think I've only played it like once on modded, so I really don't remember very much.
I've played it on Plus and above. It's painful.
It's
very
it would be,
bad.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Painful. Yeah. So I was
Okay.
actually on this map when Ice was first testing it out, and it's not even just like the event itself, it's just the map, like, environment itself is wonky and pretty treacherous. So I don't think
see.
I've ever, maybe I've made it to the end once,
Wow.
but it can get a little
Oh.
treacherous. Yeah, it's
You know
pretty
what?
brutal.
I remember the end event being pretty cooked.
Yeah.
Like I remember I played it with, I want to say, Slash and some other buddies, and we because I had never played the map before on like modded at that time. And I remember we got to the end event and it was very treacherous, as you said. And then the end event like really surprising me, because the end event on official is like fairly straightforward. I mean, you can play it while drunk, right? That's the whole point. Yeah, I don't remember the exact details. It'd be great if someone could remind us of like, the exact event code. But yeah, I remember it being pretty cooked. Because you get
hopefully.
like monsters in really tiny areas and stuff.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to see it in action here today. Let's take a quick look at our tier 4 map pool as well, because I know we're gonna get to the action here. But it's Fort Brachsenbrücke, Old Haunts, Righteous Stand, and a Grudge Serve Cold. I feel like these maps are probably a little bit more well known than maybe Mission of Mercy, what have you. I mean, we've seen Old Haunts, we've seen Fort Brachsenbrücke, we've seen Righteous Stand. The one that interested me is a Grudge Serve Cold, because I don't think I've ever seen that played at this level.
Yeah, so Grudge is pretty hard, actually. I would say, like, it's a map that's kind of difficult to special snipe on, and I think that's where most of its difficulty comes from. And also, I've only played it on Linesman. I actually haven't played it on Dutch, so I don't know if the mid-event is different. But on Linesman, like, the mid-event takes a very long time to do properly. And then after that, you have this, like, weird trigger with a rat ogre near the lake, and you have to keep going, like, as far as you can to the lake, and then go all the way back to the event, like, very religiously. Because if you get the trigger in the middle of this tight corridor, like, you just can't fight it there, And then if you get a horde there, too, you're, like, absolutely dead. So yeah.
This is one of these maps where if you're not, like, your team's not on point and communicating and where they should be, it can fall apart really quickly, especially in that last event. And then on top of that, it's a very long map. So it's also testing your stamina, and the events take a while too.
Oof.
So it's one of those things, you're playing 3 maps in order, and then you got this long one.
Yeah.
By then the mental drain has started, because 3 hours of Verm is not, at least in a tournament setting, is not insignificant. The pressure of playing in a tourney, I found mentally, is more taxing than playing 3 hours of just goofing off modded.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't doubt it.
I mean, because a lot of teams that are competing have cleared all these maps. That's not the issue. The issue is stringing it all together in one sitting. And Exxon, I think the point you highlighted is like super on point, which is like the discipline that Grudge Serve Cold already requires is pretty high. And then when you do that after, I mean, Old Haunts, really, like, that's
brutal. I know.
That's pretty brutal, because Old Haunts is another map that requires a lot of discipline. It can be pretty tricky if you don't handle it right.
That mid-event is, I hate that mid-event in Old Haunts.
Oh, yeah.
It's high.
I remember I haven't played Old Haunts on Dutch since it first came out on Dutch, and it was like really broken. Like you actually had to cheese the end event. There was like no legitimate way to do the end event at that time. And then or like it's legitimate but like sketchy. You know, and then I think they toned it down, and now the end event is like more consistently doable with strats that are akin to Dwan's Plus, and like, but the map is still really hard. I mean, it's a long
It's
map,
a grinder.
and yeah, and as Exum pointed out, that church is like one person makes a mistake and it's really hard to recover. So, and a lot happens so quickly, right? Because like the timing, once you pop the map, is like everything has to roll into place like clockwork. So we'll see like what teams end up doing here. I mean, there's kind of a bunch of different strats you can do though, and I think that's what makes it a fun map. And you know, I think it'd be great to see what's going on here, because also definitely a lot of teams here that we have not seen compete before. You know, players we've seen around, but these groups have not necessarily been formed. So super fun. We're really looking forward to it. It'll be a fun day.
Well, let's go ahead and hop into it here and get some of our teams up on the stream. I want to get, you know, we have a lot of teams playing here today, so we want to try and get everybody their opportunity to be featured on the stream. Obviously, we're going to do our best to try and get you like good quality feeds. We were having some issues with that yesterday, so we'll do our best to make sure everybody's getting in good. But here's Ave Sigmar, one of our tier 3 teams. It looks like they're into the pit, and they've done a fair amount of it actually already. They're past the beach.
The beach, like
Yeah.
probably no issue at this timestamp. So like, and then you have the Ironbreaker with a shield and hammer.
Yeah, so this to me looks like a comp that's just gonna like DPS the map, because you have GK Witch Hunter Captain, which is a classic like super high DPS frontline, you know, and then you have, I can't tell if this is Beam or Bolt Battle Wizard. But if it's Beam Battle Wizard or Bolt Battle Wizard, I mean either way, like Battle Wizard all just like with a strength pot from GK does like a huge amount for wave clearing. So
yeah, this is a pretty I would say it's a very standard comp to see in Dwans. You have, you know, 2 ult pushbacks, maybe even this third if you include Ironbreaker here, but then you have this front line, and then you have usually that spot could be a backliner, or it could be, you know, in this case it's Merc. So you have 2 front line and 2 back line, which is pretty balanced so far. So this is fairly classic comp, I would say.
And look at that barrel gaming. We'd love to see it every time.
Barrel gaming, high octane shield gameplay. What more do you want, folks?
I am always torn about this spot that they're in. Maybe it's because I have trauma, because I die in this area all the time, because that house is not solid. If you're in the wrong spot, things can kill you through the wall.
Yeah, if that left wall is basically not sacred. Like if you touch that left wall at all, like you're rolling dice with your life. Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And then, you know, sometimes if you move up and about, sometimes you can trigger something, or sometimes a patrol will come down and they're all just in there with you. And
well, yeah, it's I totally agree, Exa. It's a super weird house, because not only that, but also if you go up the stairs, it's literally an illegal spot. Like it's a cheese spot.
Oh,
so
no. I keep forgetting
like,
those exist. Like there are strict spots that you're not allowed to go to.
Right. And so like it's just, I don't know, it's just an area that is already like I mean, it's definitely the best hold in the area, you know, and it's pretty cozy if things go okay. But there's like, yeah, sometimes someone will get like overhead through the wall. I've seen people get like flamered into the upper floor, and then it's like, did they intentionally cheat or no? You know, and all sorts of stuff like this. So also, if like monsters come, they will come in that house. So you want to be really careful about triggers. This is another hold spot by the fence. If you get a patrol, the patrol will walk right in front of you. And if you didn't get a monster yet, you will not necessarily get it. It looks like they got a patrol. You can see the patrol is going to walk in front of them. And it is that Dwan's Plus patrol, so it's actually larger than like every other difficulty in terms of size. So they'll be waiting a while
for that
patrol to walk by.
Spot to hold as well. I feel pretty good about this spot. The only thing that goes wrong is that if your team is already folding, if there's a gas rat and it's not sniped, you're dead immediately, pretty much.
True. It's like that balance of you don't want to peek out, because peeking out causes the special angle to exist. But then if you don't peek out, you might not be able to snipe that like key gas or whatever, you know. So it is kind of a tension spot for that reason. But
When you play, do you prefer going up the stairs or do you prefer going up the hill?
like when you turn around here and go left and then go straight and then you can turn right to
Yeah,
go upstairs.
after the house that we were talking about, there's a two kind of a split fork.
Oh, you mean after the house? Gotcha,
Mhm.
gotcha. I think well, I think like if there is no wave, like you've just cleared the horde and you don't expect to like, or you will react to a trigger as it comes up, and there's not too many ads. I actually like sending players both ways because there's items on both sides. Like there can be items in the left boxes and there can be items in the right. But if there's a ton of ads, you still have to pull them. So I think it just depends for me. Um,
Go. Let's go ahead and see how some of our other teams are doing here. We have In Good Faith is actually in a very similar spot. We'll transition over to them for a second here. They're also a T3 team. Obviously, they've done quite well in the early stages of the pit. Honestly, just by the looks of it, it seems like most of our teams have kind of handled the initial portions of the pit pretty well and are running about the same
One
speed because I think this is exactly where Ava Sigmar is.
Yeah, once you get off that beach, it's generally okay unless, there's something that happens, like, the
yeah.
ship isn't communicating well. Where it really starts to, I find, ramp up outside of that beach is once you start that mid-event, and then
Oh
on
yeah.
the, kind of like the city walk after, because sometimes you can get swarmed by specials and stuff after, but I'm really curious to see how teams will handle the event. There's a pretty good strat on this that's tried and true, but I think there's two different ways you can generally handle it, but it does require a certain level of coordination and to not fall apart and make sure you're making the right calls because sometimes if you push first or too hard or too fast, it's going to not play out well in your favor. I have learned this the hard way by things dropping on my head like a bunch of elites.
Yeah, I mean, totally nailed it, Exan. I mean, I think as far as I know, the two major categories of strats, I feel like there's like so many different variations, that players have come up with over the years. It is that you either hold or kite the event. And you can either hold the event on this like little plank of wood that's elevated above to the left of the event, and the downside of that is you kind of have no backup if anything goes wrong. Like if you fail the DPS check, like you're screwed. Oh, they got the late boss trigger. This is actually what I think one of the ways the map can go wrong is if you get this late boss trigger and you don't handle it right. Because if they get like an ambush right now, this is actually not the best place to fight this boss. Um,
Stream seems to
so
be a little choppy, by the way, based on chat.
yeah, 10 FPS stream.
It's not
Sad
too
face.
bad. It's definitely better than yesterday.
Outputs at 60, so I don't know where
But
I think
yeah,
you
this
a
this
certain
late boss,
Amazon owned company could be maybe responsible for that, but
yeah,
that's
So
okay.
one of
I mean,
the to Long's point, I mean, they cleared it just fine, but generally one of the rules of Verm is to not fight on stairs or any kind of elevated surface, because it puts you at this disadvantage. So that's kind of, in my opinion at least, why having this late boss in this area can be a little nasty.
yeah, I think your best bet, if it's a Roger, is see this cubby that they're already in. I think you take the boss to the back corner and have someone dance it back there while the rest like kills the wave, kills specials, etc. Because you really only need one person to occupy the boss, and that is like the truly safe area. Although it's like it it's really cramped, so you're not really allowed to make a mistake if you do that strat. I mean, of course, they didn't have a wave, so they just bursted it down together and it turned went okay, but. Yeah, you're right. Like those stairs, you always got to be careful because the hitboxes really don't care very much about elevation differences. So you'll get hit in ways you've never even imagined. um, but looks like they got through the trigger. They're going to the event, and I guess to finish the commentary before, another strat that people like to do is they kite the event. And the way that you do this is there's sort of this ladder to the right of the event as you enter, and at the top of that ladder is where enemies will pile up. And then when they pile up, you drop down onto the main floor and go up the ladder on the left side of the event and go upward and do this sort of clockwise motion. And you make sure to wait every time you get back to the origin of the kite so that the enemies like nicely clump up and don't get in front of you. Um, and I think basically on anything above Dwans Plus, you pretty much have to kite. Like holding on Dutch or linesman or whatever without a very specialized comp is like basically not possible. So the kite is like generally the safer and more scalable strat. But on Dwans Plus, it's fun to see teams sometimes, go for the ego strat of just like, nah, we play Vermintide, we hold spot, we kill rat, yes, yes.
We're here to kill rats. Yeah, and in some ways, this is once you get to Dutch or Squared or any of these Beyond Plus difficulties, they are designed to test less I want to say basic mechanic and more advanced strategy making. So Core is the designer of Dutch, which is an offshoot of Spicy because Spicy was a little too hard, so he called it Dutch Spice, or the level of spice the average Dutch person can handle. Core is Dutch. But when that group plays, when they were active, they generally had a lot of strat making, and they wanted to ensure that they were getting this challenge out of it. And kiting is one of the, in my opinion, one of the more challenging aspects of Verm. Not just kiting yourself, but kiting as a team, because it can go wrong really, really fast. It's part of why I hated Righteous Stand for so long, because that mid event you had to kite it, and I never liked doing it.
For
I am a
sure.
simple person.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, kiting it's a really core part of playing like these like post end game difficulties. But as you said, so much can go wrong so quickly because it's like a team game and you all have to be perfectly in sync. And so when one person makes a mistake, everyone kind of, like eats for it, right? And like so a lot of the practice that these teams will do is just making sure that they're on the same wavelength constantly, and that their communication is down. I mean, we may not be necessarily hearing the teams chat right now, or they may truly be playing silently, but most of the time when you have teams playing at this level, they're like talking constantly and like, letting people know what's going on constantly because that communication is important.
So did you
Also, if
say
you're
perfectly in sync or perfectly insane?
I think either's accurate, to be honest, because sometimes teams are really screaming at each other. um, but yeah, I meant to say perfectly in sync. Jokes aside. So yeah, if you're playing Pit casually though, and you ever have a horde right before the event, this is like the one of the most chill spots to hold in all of Vermintide.
Yeah.
You just almost nothing can go
Never seen
wrong.
anyone die here.
Oh, I've seen it, but it's always like a very heroic story from the rats. Like we're talking like assassin flies from downtown, boops two people off, then a blightstormer catches him up, and then like, some I don't know, some extra problem arose after that, and then like two people tried to clutch it, go into the event, started early, and then they get most people up, but they ran out of resources and died or something like that. That's how you
And
die
then
here.
goes and gets Uber Eats later. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
All
they're
right,
mainly
they're
just
going in. I see someone in there in the event.
Oh,
Oh
are they
no,
doing the one person in strat?
they might. I thought I saw someone go in there.
I can't quite tell if the Waste
Maybe
Stalkers are because it
not.
still says enter the hideout, so I don't think they've actually started the event.
No, I don't
Um,
think so.
oh yeah,
No,
I
I
think
think they're
someone
still
just fell
around
down.
No,
outside.
yeah, it looks like maybe they were just near it.
Bulwarks, by the way, on official realm, you may not care too much about Bulwarks. It's like, oh, whatever, it's another Chaos Warrior with more health or whatever. But on modded, we play with Death Wish, okay? And so these Bulwarks are not easily staggered. And so they actually are mini bosses. Like
We talking
um
about the Marauders Bulwark, or are we talking about
no,
the
the
Chaos
the,
Warrior
the
Bulwarks?
Chaos Warrior
Okay.
Bulwarks.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
because once you're in plus, so in the code, those Marauders with shields are actually called Bulwark.
Oh, you're right. You're right. My bad.
Yeah, but in plus, there's a lot more shields. And it's a little chunky.
Yeah, there was actually a really funny bug when the Chaos Warrior Bulwarks first came out, and it was a modded only bug. And it was where basically on
Oh,
some people's PCs, but not everyone, depending on what mods they had, the Chaos Warrior Bulwarks would take like an extremely reduced amount of armor damage. And so some people were saying, dude, Bulwarks are like impossible, like they don't die. Then others are saying, like, what? They're so easy. I killed them in like 4 hits. And it was a whole argument of that people thought was like skill issue until people actually realized that they were just playing on 2 different versions of the game.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that was so
I do
funny.
know that some modders kind of brought them in line and made some tweaks. But it's a little individual. All right, let's see how they're doing it.
Yeah, so this is where I think they're keeping them nice and grouped up, and they have the option of kiting at any moment here
the
if they
kite
drop off the left. And it looks like basically they are going to try and DPS for the most part and probably use the kite as a backup. That's kind of what it looks like they're doing right now. Yep,
Yeah,
so
this
one
is
person
what
drops, so
yep,
everyone drops. Yep.
yep.
Yep. And another thing is you don't have to do the fire, like the fire barrels or whatever. You don't have to do those to actually clear the event. The event will finish without you doing that. You can just do it right at the end in order to open the door. So that's what they're doing right now. That's why they haven't made any progress there. They're just clearing all the waves, making sure it's nice and safe before they touch those objectives. Oh, big overhead coming
That's
in on Witch Hunter
unfortunate.
Captain.
So we did
They have
breakfast
the
this
Foot Knight ult
morning,
though.
eating that overhead. Okay.
Oh my god, Leech as well.
No.
Oh, it's getting real sketchy.
This is
I
yes. This is where it can go bad really fast. So yeah, that was a right call. Ult and then drop, make that space.
Yeah. They are using a little bit of resources though. Oh my god, and the Leech on the ladder.
God.
You hate to see it.
No, that could go badly for the Foot Knight. Oh no.
Okay, so the Pyro goes down. So that the Pyro's their main DPS here. Like that's the reason they're able to hold is because Pyro like just deletes
Yeah,
entire
this
waves.
is-
So
they
this
might-
means
He's gonna spawn outside of the event, if I remember correctly, right?
I think he actually might spawn in the event. I don't think they've made enough progress yet, but we'll see. Oh, another person go. So that's special sniper.
This might not go well.
Okay,
you
so if they,
Back
oh
and
my god, the
res
shove near the ladder and hit on the ladder. Oh my gosh, it's so close right now. Got to do a little bit of parkour on the left here. Okay, didn't actually do the parkour, but still made it. I mean, it looks like right now, I think their main chance is if they do spawn in the event, then they can get them up and like try and reset here. I'm not sure if they actually did though. I see the set free on the other side of the wall. Oh, they made too much event progress when they went down. That's unfortunate.
Can they run this event out?
I think their best chance right now is to like they have the 2 options. One is that they just extremely slowly clear the event because there are no specials, so they can just kill a couple enemies and continue to kite. And the kite should be safe if they do it right.
It would take a long time because they have maybe 1 DPS and that
well, the problem is
there's
you have to wait for the wave, and they didn't wait for the wave, so they're getting trapped in. Okay, but the SV wave is the last wave of the event. So if they can make it through this wave and survive, they can just run to the end after. So it's all on Foot Knight right now. But the door might be open if Foot Knight does the 3 like tainted food, like burns the 3 tainted foods right now.
Open without burning the food.
Sorry?
I don't think the door can open if they don't burn the food.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think basically if he does the food right now, then he can probably get through the door because we've seen the last wave of Storm Vermin. So I think the event is technically done, even though the event enemies are not killed. So I think this is just going to be a test of like solo clutch here. He really won't want to kill anything.
No, I don't think it will be a test of solo clutch.
Oh, that's it.
It's tough, but he's got a shield. He's got a shield.
Oh, he's still up.
He's talking. He's taking. We got it. Oh, you can't go that way, buddy. Oh no.
Oh,
oh, that's so tragic.
Hold up, that's game. Oh,
well.
I mean, yeah, without getting an ult there, that's tough. Yeah,
it was good effort, alas.
It was an effort in good faith, you could say.
Yes. Let's go
yes.
in good faith. Ha ha ha. Well done. All right, let's go check out one of our tier 4 teams. And yes, it is going to be a little ugly at the start.
Ballers
Don't worry.
in front, guys, careful.
We'll try and get a better feed for you. you on a tour.
It looks like they're at the river in port at the moment.
They are, yes. They're just they just pushed across the river here.
So, it says no monks, just apes, but I don't think this is no monks, just apes. I think this is the team winging it, because I see Billy, Quick Kill, and someone else that I'm not aware
Billy,
of.
can you?
I think the player
You're
we're
right,
watching right now is
I was
Guz.
like,
Yeah.
this doesn't seem like Project's group.
Well,
Okay.
also just because I recognize Guz
Put my close I could,
FOP
Guz.
pretty instantly, so. I'm
All right,
like, yeah,
hold on.
this is
I'll
probably
well,
Guz.
just keep them there. Don't let them move.
We'll go make an effort to update that then. Yeah. You
Yeah,
said
no
winging
worries.
it, right?
So we hold the river.
Let's hold the
I think
front.
it's winging
Yeah,
it, and I'm pretty sure the players
No!
does the quick kill, Billy,
Alright, let's go
and I
forward
guess
a
the
bit.
last player is
Look in there.
Toxic Bounty Hunter. I don't know them, so I don't
Bounty
know if
Hunter
they're,
is supposed to be a
Drop them,
crack
right?
shoot.
Purple
like,
here.
Apparently,
Drink it,
like
drink it.
the sharpshooter.
well, Warrior Priest, so he's really aiming those bubbles.
Get to the drop down.
I'll go ahead and
Well,
pull up.
yeah, he's Warrior Priest right now, but I've heard.
He
Like,
really knows how to
Yeah.
bubble
He's
people.
very good.
I'll go ahead and bring up another team for a second
Hey,
here.
aiming
and
the bubbles
we'll see if we
sometimes
can get
is
them
an
back
actual
up.
challenge, right?
Yeah,
That bubble has a mind of its own.
Bubbles are terrible. So.
All right,
It's
so it looks like
Sigmar's
here's
will,
another
okay?
group of
Sometimes
guys-
he doesn't want one person to get it.
So we got Festering 5 here. This is an interesting team. So Haname's been in the scene for a long time. Chance has also been in the scene for a while, mostly plays Grail Knight. Rasima is relatively new to the scene, and Waste is actually like a Deep Rock player. He has like a YouTube channel and stuff, but he like recently tried out modded and has a lot of skill transfer because modded Deep Rock is very similar to modded Vermintide. So
This is
There's a
better than
mod
Deep
in
Rock.
Deep Rock?
there's
There
modded
is.
Deep
Of
Rock.
course
I
there's
did not
modded
know
Deep Rock.
this
Why did
until
I
someone
even,
was
why
like,
did I
"Yeah,
even
Waste
question
plays
the
modded
fact that
Deep
that
Rock."
would exist? Of course there's modded Deep Rock. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, we'd love to see more modded PvE games because we just can't enjoy things like Left 4 Dead at the base difficulty, right? Like,
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
in this difficulty lonk in Dutch, because I mostly played Square, is can they ledge the boss in this area if they get one?
oh yeah, you can let the
Okay.
So
And
the only
Square
thing
gets
you
knocked off.
yeah, because Ice was probably like, yeah, I'm kind of tired of people
No,
ledging bosses, so
He's like, no,
um,
that's cheating.
right. The end event boss you cannot ledge. In the past you could ledge the end event boss, and that got quote nerfed. Because
There it is. Yeah.
oh, the stream is so much
No.
better. Whatever change
Oh.
you just did, like
I
beautiful.
thought he missed him.
Ooh.
No. You got him nice and far away. But
Ledging
So
there,
yeah,
but
the-
it's risky because the things can just throw you off if it goes wrong.
yeah. Well, the tough one is if you get a troll in this area, you can still ledge it, but it requires a lot more specific setup.
Yeah, because it only goes back and forth, not side to side.
Exactly. But yeah, so that the only boss that they can't ledge on this map is the end event boss. In the past you could, and that was the best strat, is someone would stay out of the event and just like ledge all three of the bosses that you used to get. Now I think you only get one boss, but it's I forget what the keyword is. There's some, it's like Grudge March so that you can't ledge it. And so you can still do events where you hold outside if you want. You can still strats you can hold outside. You can still do strats where you kite inside, but like ledging the bosses no more as far as I remember. But should be a pretty like straightforward map. Like Fort is generally one of the first maps that you clear when you're learning Dutch. So this is a great warm up for these teams. You know, good way to get your special sniping warm. And also they got boss first trigger, which some people would consider to be favorable because it means they get a guaranteed ledge on the third trigger now as well. Like, you know, basically they only have to worry about potentially pulling a patrol on second trigger, which is like the easiest trigger to avoid pulling the patrol, I would argue. So
Disagree. Well, I don't know. Like you can, but like it's not the worst. But I've also seen more wipes avoiding a patrol as well. Whether that they get pushed
definitely.
back into the cave, or if it's accidentally hit, or even just like some shit happens while you're avoiding them.
But in theory, like if you hold in the cave, the odds of you pulling that pat are like something wild had to happen, because also the patrols are smaller here than both squared and plus, so they will pass more quickly. But
I don't know. I always get nervous when there's a patrol here. I would rather have the boss because it's easier.
fair enough, fair enough. Looks like they're getting close to the cave.
Yep.
It's actually generally favorable to kind of skip that above section and go straight to the cave, because the cave is like so safe. This is like one of the safest holds in like the entirety of Vermintide.
But
Mainly
you do have
because
to be aware of stuff behind you because they can come up around
yeah,
and start poking you.
exactly. And actually, I think one thing we might see is between waves, they might just aggro everything that's behind, because there's tons of ads behind them that are unaggroed right now, just to play it safe. But they could also just be progressing forward. It just like, kind of all depends on the ad situation. They could also just wing it. It shouldn't be, we shouldn't be seeing a situation where they look in really dire straits. In this hold spot. Cross my fingers though, of course. I'm not wishing that they get a terrible seed right now. um, but yeah, I mean, classic, great comp at dealing with chaos. Like this comp just absolutely shreds chaos, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, should be pretty easy. I mean, Waystalker's probably best special sniper right now. I mean, you could argue Huntsman is, but then you lose a Kruger slot, right? And like GK WHC is like a time-tested frontline. There's probably technically more meta frontline compositions, but it's like this is perfectly fine. And IB also just makes every single run easier. Trollhammer is will always be like really defining in a lot of runs.
Yeah.
So
Well, it looks like they
looks
got
like
out of
now
it.
they're pulling ads. They're seeing if they're going to get the patrol. They're probably going to trigger the patrol any second now. It's going to be on the left.
Gonna go ahead and leave them for a moment. Let's take a look at Southland
Yeah,
Shakers.
I was just gonna comment that Witch Hunter I think is the only real sniper on that team because Haname is running a I think Hagbane.
Anime is running what?
Hagbane.
Oh, he's running Hagbane. I mean,
I
Hagbane
think
can
so.
still snipe, I guess, but it's like, also, why? Like, what? I mean, I won't question it, but I'm kind of like, huh? Like,
Sounds like you just
do you
questioned.
need Hagbane? Like, don't you have a ton of horde clear already? Like,
So it looks
but
like they got past the event.
yeah, yeah. And I don't know any of these players, so I can't comment on, how cool they are, unfortunately. But it looks like they've got
they're all
a ton
cool,
of
man. They
resources.
just give them credit.
No, everyone here is cool for participating in the tournament. It's just sometimes I have fun facts about players, that's all. But looks like they've got a ton of resources. Like even if something does go wrong, I mean, they can throw 4 bombs, 5 bombs at the problem, and that'll probably fix it. So I
So
think
I
I think they're
misspoke.
good.
Haname's on longbow. I thought I saw the green puffs, but maybe it was just like
Oh, okay,
green.
okay.
Okay, they have 2 snipers.
Gotcha.
Whatever. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like Waystalker can solo snipe that. To be honest, like Waystalker right now, longbow is like really meta for special sniping. And taking up an elf slot, which is generally not that important for frontline, so it's like a really good. It fits into a lot of comps, so totally understand that comp choice. Yeah. Um, and so yeah, I mean, it looks like this team. So even though they have cleared the mid event, which is the difficulty spike in the map, there still are triggers after the mid event. There still are areas to push through that are not necessarily easy to fight in, and things can go wrong. So, and that end event, I mean, should go fine, but I have seen teams wipe on the final boardwalk because they like get stuck in some corner and then the waves are just like surrounding them very quickly. So, definitely not out of the woods yet, but I'm sure they've breathed a sigh of relief now that they've gotten through that mid event for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's generally okay to this point. So long as like you don't get anything weird happening. Um
Yeah, I think this player's running true solo quality of life mod because the assassin
yeah,
reward was
let me
popping
go
up.
and poke someone.
Yeah, I think they might need a friendly poke. But it looks like they're pulling ads right now. Pretty chill.
Uh-oh.
This
X
is
and Maya had
a
to depart for a minute, so it's just you and me now, Locke, for the short term. Hopefully we get him back.
well,
No, you
that's
go though.
okay.
You're making good points. You go. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry. Go for it.
Oh, no worries. So this area right here, I have seen wipes happen.
I
I
have seen
don't
that
know
too.
what their trigger situation is, but if they have a trigger on the bridge and they don't play this area correctly, then they could wipe. But again, they have so many resources. They really should be fine. Um, Generally, like what you do when you get a horde here is you kind of hold. It's hard to kind of call out where it is. It's like near the bridge where you would progress the map, but a little bit to the left of that archway, like around
Sure.
that corner. Like kind of, yeah, where they're going right now, actually. They're kind of in the hold spot right now. The only downside of this is like there are some kind of annoying special angles, but should be okay. They've got the waist soccer on sniping and should be pretty comfy. So I think this team's like, unless something goes wrong, I think it's going to be pretty chill, firm gameplay for the next 30 seconds or so.
As chill as he gets. As
chill as it gets. Yeah, I mean, this is still
just chill verb gameplay, and it's
we're
absolutely
such-
insane.
I mean, we're such adrenaline
quality
junkies,
of
right?
Life is a required mod. They're just using that instead of accessibility captions, so it's fine.
Oh, okay, excellent. Totally fine, yeah. I just,
Cooley was like, "What's the problem?"
Well, okay, just check it in.
It's been a while since I've actually seen someone use those cues.
Yeah, well, because also I can't remember if old versions of True Solar Quality of Life like actually modified the game a bit, like where you could make it so pack masters would never catch you and stuff like that, or maybe there was spawn tweaks.
But they don't have that turned on clearly.
Yeah,
well,
gotcha,
since
gotcha.
they're having since they're having some chill gameplay, we'll go check in on one of our other.
Yeah, I mean, we're just such adrenaline junkies, right? That
yeah,
unless like 3 people are dying and there's 4 bosses on screen, like
happening.
where's the adrenaline? I'm kidding.
We'll pull up a different team here for a little bit. This is the Beauties, I believe, who are running an elf axe, which I haven't seen anyone do that.
Let's
go. Glaive is so satisfying to use. It's not the most meta weapon, but it's actually good in good hands. I like it. It's easy to use. It's effective, good with armor, and with Handmaiden's abilities to make weapons attack speeds faster. It's pretty decent.
For sure. And one thing to note as well is they're playing on like maximum settings here. So we get all the glorious like splatters and everything from that Glaive gameplay.
Full blood, full cinematic mode is what we were calling it yesterday.
Enjoyer, this is a treat for me, right? Everyone knows I play on like absolute potatoes, so we actually were like okay, this could be a trigger right here. I don't know their trigger situation. Like they could get a boss right here if there
was a boss. The trigger would have already happened, so it's either going to happen in the next drop down or
yeah.
So they might have already gotten one.
They've been just from the corner of my eye. They have been here for a while in this section, so I don't know what I've been trying to follow as many teams. We have, I think, like 12 or 15 teams playing today.
This is one of their I don't know what attempt they're on, but
I'm gonna go ahead and guess second. I'm gonna give them I maybe, I don't know, they could still be on there first. It could be just a grinded out scenario. So.
Oh my! And it's Ale RV.
Yeah, that's Ale Ranger Veteran too. Did you just notice?
Yeah, I just noticed. What a based comp. Oh my goodness!
It's getting Chad stuff.
These guys are having so much fun right now. That's beautiful.
I was gonna say this is an interesting comp. I would be uncomfortable going into modded with a comp like this, but it's working for them. So.
Yeah, I mean, we roll, right?
Yeah. I mean, as I've always said, meta is just a suggestion. It doesn't mean it has to be the way you play.
Of course.
Let's go.
Playing this, that, or the other thing. Why are you playing that? And it's like, because I want to. It's fun. It works for me. I'm just killing rats. Like,
And at the end of the day, what you're familiar with will end up performing better generally than forcing yourself to play the meta.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, like, if we were seeing like the most sweaty compositions right now, they would probably all have like either like Huntsman, Warrior, Priest, Unchained, Flex, or like
this POV. I just saw Billion Maulers. Like,
Yeah, I wanted to
Yeah,
to
looks
go
like
over to
they're-
what's a trigger
short
who.
man overhead POV.
Yeah, what's a
Oh,
trigger who've just hit a trigger? So let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Okay,
see how
okay,
they
okay.
handle this
the
bait
stream
here.
is freezing.
Yeah, it's.
If
I think
you
there's a
minimize
lot.
the
There we
stream a
go.
little bit, it might smooth it up.
It should be fine on this. Yeah, it's. It should be
Okay.
okay now. I think. Hopefully, to a certain
So if
extent.
someone, so I'm not sure if I heard you right, but it sounded like someone was asking what a trigger is. I can give a super quick rundown.
Oh no, that's the name of the team.
Oh, what's a trigger? I got fooled. I got fooled.
You can still answer that question if you like, but it's the name of the
Okay,
team.
all right. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, for anyone who
What is
doesn't
a
know,
trigger?
a trigger is a point in the map where you're like guaranteed to get either a patrol or a boss. Unofficial, these points are not all active, but on modded, every single all three possible triggers in a map are active. So if you walk into an area and get a boss, then the next area you're guaranteed to get a patrol. Then the area after that you're guaranteed to get a boss, and it'll keep alternating depending on whatever you got first. And so triggers are just areas that players know they have to tread very carefully, because if they tippy toe into the wrong little spot, cause a boss to happen right when a horde spawns, that's when things get really tough. So never fight boss plus horde if you can avoid it. That's like the golden rule.
Yeah, and there are some places, I don't think they're in the map pool, but you usually can see this on Festering Ground. Is like people will be like, I got a boss and patrol in the same spot. It just happens to be those two triggers are very close together, which is also something that could
Oh,
happen. And then there are instances, it's rare, but if playing in Engines of War, we've seen this happen in previous tournaments where a boss trigger will happen in the event.
right,
And
because
then
there
there's
is a
actual events.
slight progression jump in the kite that everyone does. So
Yeah. So
yeah, you
yeah,
sometimes can hit it. Yeah, because I remember way back in the day when like me Slash and some buddies were like grinding Engines of War. And we would have some amazing runs that were just like absolutely ruined by hitting that exact Engines of War trigger that you're talking about. So like, oh, I feel it in my bones. I remember that trigger. um, but yeah, it looks like so this team elected to bring a lot of the horde through the event, which you can do. You can just drag it to the end if you get through to the you did all the fire
Yeah.
barrels or whatever, and you can like walk through. I've seen some teams actually hold on the drop down before this, like in the corner, and it's actually a pretty good hold. Like a lot of people don't know about it. But it like holding here is also pretty typical. The only downside of holding in this area by the water is actually triggers. So if you walk a little bit too far forward and you haven't gotten a boss yet, you're definitely getting a boss. And getting a boss in this area like totally sucks. Like 100% sucks. So, but it looks like they're pretty much getting through it nice. So they've cleared the mid event like 100%. We can call that an official clear.
Good job. Good job, team. Let's go check out somebody else then. Let's see. Festering 5, by the looks of it, are on the final stage of Fort Brachsenbrücke, and that looks absolutely horrible. So we'll give them a look.
So this event is like
this event is the bane of my existence. I don't like doing any of Fort, but particularly this one is just
so the way this event works, for those who don't know, is when you get inside the event, you spawn in a bunch of waves and any ads that are like already there that you haven't pulled. And then at some point you're gonna get a boss, like just pretty soon in, like just I'd say like 20 to 30 seconds in, you're gonna get a boss. And this boss is relentless, so you can't stagger it. And basically you have a bunch of options. You can either like kill everything and then try to do the event. Or you can actually just like start doing the event and just like kite everything with you, and like you basically don't end up killing a whole lot or really ever killing the boss doing that. So both are fine, but this is sort of a classic kite that you'll see on this event, because holding anywhere right now is like not very safe. Like you would think that bottom corner there or whatever, like looks pretty cozy. I guarantee you don't want to hold anywhere right now. Like just go ahead and try it and see how well it works for you, right? But it looks like their strat right now is to chip away at the boss little by little as they're doing the kite, which totally works out. works out fine for them.
It's very similar to the Righteous Stand strat in what they're doing right now.
Yes,
With more jumping and stuff. But right now, I think they're pulling it off very, very well. If you see how much space they have between enemies, is quite impressive to me.
Yeah, well, part of that's also just because they did throw a bomb and like a troll hammer and they nuked the boss, so they did just create a ton of space. I think most of the
Yeah,
wave is dead, but you're totally right.
it's
Regardless, I
done,
agree.
but they
Um,
get the waves are triggered by the being touching the cannon, I think, isn't it?
well, yeah, I don't know the details exactly, but I know there's waves that spawn in when you enter the event. There's waves that spawn in if you kill waves. Like it'll just spawn more waves if you kill waves. And I believe also touching the cannon, as you said. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, so this is one of the more risky areas I think to stay in it.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know if they wanted to be here
space,
actually.
but
Yeah,
you
the firebomb is an
able
indicator.
to
I don't think they were
yeah,
intending to
because
be
of
here.
because of that gas, and then also if you get locked in, you can't go left or right. Now, they've got it pretty well controlled, but it's definitely one of those areas you don't want to stay in too long. You can get away with it in, lower levels of Onslaught and stuff like that, but once you start reaching Dutch and all those areas, it gets risky to stay there. See, this is what I mean by they have so much space. They're
Yeah,
really using
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
verticality to their
No,
Yeah,
advantage.
they're
they're
using the
chilling.
whole
They're
map.
chilling right
Yeah.
now for sure. I mean, I think once you kill the boss, you get a ton of space back because the boss is really what's like limiting your space. It's the fastest enemy. It's going to be knocking things behind you. It's constantly pressuring you to just like keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. And the fact that you can't stagger it either means if it starts getting on top of you and hitting you, like that's that's rough, buddy, right? So yeah, it looks like though they're pretty chill right now. I mean, they're going to be like just doing the cannon bit by bit, moving in a circle. They're going to load the cannon up, I'm sure, in this circle here. But they can really take as much time as they want. Granted that they can't take forever because the tournament must go on. And then my guess is once they actually finish firing off the cannon, then they're probably going to do one more loop before leaving.
Yeah.
Because if you drop down right away and then try to leave, you can get trapped.
Rushed,
So,
right?
yeah, if you try to rush it, like you can get trapped. It's a bit of an edge case, but like you definitely can get trapped. So, my guess is that since they've had a clean run, there's no reason to risk it and get that extra like 30 seconds back. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what they end up doing. Either way, it's only one person has to make it to the Waystone, so they're doing pretty okay.
Yeah, I think they'll clear this
Oh
pretty
no,
well.
they're
Looks like
going.
they've
They're
practiced
going out.
quite well. Yeah,
They're just going
this
for
is
it.
very clean so far. Yep.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. Well.
This is I don't think I've seen. Oh, yep, I forgot.
Oh,
There's a
he's just
boss
gonna
there.
go. Okay, they're just gonna go for
He's
it.
just going- I
Full
don't
speed
think
Yeah.
ahead.
I've ever seen Rail Knight be the one to rush to the end.
Yeah, I mean, as I
That's
said, it's just an
great.
edge case. It's just an edge case, so they got it. They don't need to do it. They don't need to do the loop. But
Good for them.
all right, well, yeah, that's an easy
It's a
win
victory.
on Dutch. Definitely the easiest map. So they've got more work to do, but it's definitely a great start.
Anybody
So
want to
they've
make?
got 3 more maps to do in 2 hours.
Anybody
And
want to
holy
make
moly,
a
you can see
victory
how insane
donation?
Waystalker is right now. They're like,
If anyone wants to make a victory donation, it'd be an awesome time. We're nearly at the top of the hour, actually, to mention everything is going to charity here today. X and I think if you want to talk about it again, I know we introduced it at the top of the stream, but we might as well remind everyone what this is for.
Yeah, so APOPO is the charity that donations are going to. This tournament, winners will actually get the choice to choose which rat additional money will go to, so for each tier. And APOPO is a charity that focuses on training giant African pouched rats to detect tuberculosis and also landmines because the rats aren't actually heavy enough to set anything off. So they use clicker training and food rewards. And once they find a landmine, they will signal their trainer and then they bring in the correct squad to defuse it.
It's very impressive, actually, when you think about it. It's kind of crazy. They're able to do it like that. But yeah, they're very effective too. I mean, it says there they've cleared 100 million square meters of land, so a very, very worthy cause. And of course, in the a lot of Western countries, most Western countries, I guess, would not have to deal with the threat of something like landmines. So it's really a horrific thing to have to deal with. So anything that can successfully help handle that problem is very important. But we'll get back to the gameplay. You can find the links for donations in the Twitch chat. I think we have one pinned. You can find it on the Discord. I think, Axon, you said earlier we've raised over or around $5,000 so far, which is spectacular. Would love to see that number go up here today, as our hardest teams, or our hardest difficulties are on display. But speaking of, in good faith here, they are actually on the second map in the pool, which was Mission of Mercy for Tier 3, which I have never seen played in a Fight the Tide tournament before, so that's quite exciting.
Well, definitely a treat then. I think it's a cool map. And like right now, they're in one of the slightly sketchier areas to hold of the map. I don't know if they've cleared the trigger yet or not. But this room feels safer than it is. I mean, as with so many spots in Vermintide, right? You look at some place and you're like, oh, this is like a tiny room with a tall, like tiny door. Like, surely this is a great place to hold it. But there's actually a lot that can go wrong. It can come from both sides. And if you get a nasty special angle that you can't snipe because the wave is like physically in the way, then like you're stuck in a tiny room with a blight storm or whatever. So it's not necessarily safest spot, but they're handling it just okay because obviously these are skilled vermin gamers. So yeah, absolutely. Let's see. So okay, I see where they are now.
Yeah, they're in
This
this
is
like little room before I think they go back into the underground tunnels.
right.
Like,
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's
I
a
think
pretty
you can get a boss
chill
here
area.
too, I think. I think you can get a boss here, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a while since I played Mission of Mercy.
Yeah, I don't remember the triggers very well, but I remember the hold spots and the routing very well. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I think this is definitely a spot on the map that I wouldn't be stressing too hard in. So,
This is
I think we're
generally
good.
pretty clear, and particularly in these back kind of hallway dead ends area, they're actually pretty safe to hold in. Um, it just you're able to make a lot of space while utilizing corners and stuff because nothing can come in behind you, right? So it's a very good vantage point and place to control things where they are right now.
Absolutely, and they have that staff sister as well. So, problems just get paused, right? It's a nice control comp. They've got everyone here on this team can snipe, so got lots of resources. Oh yeah, I think it's going to be pretty cozy for a while. I think it's like the next area or two ahead is where it could start getting pretty spicy. If they get to the area with the multiple stairs or the fountain area, I can't exactly remember what's next. But like we'll see when we get there, I guess.
I think
This comp.
go ahead.
No, please actually go ahead.
I think I would say difficulty really ramps up once they get into that event, is where it
Yeah.
starts getting a little because then you can't see anything either. So,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Oh, this
monks.
is a classic.
No,
This is
three.
fine. This is fine. Zealot gameplay. Maybe it's not fine. Crap.
No.
I,
So as someone
I
who
thought
regularly
Zealot was fine.
plays on ping, seeing that many monks in front of me, it's like I'm gonna block, else I'm just gonna die.
We
Yeah.
haven't seen them on stream yet, and I worry that I brought them in a very bad moment. But I wanted to give Warpstone Stiffers their chance. Obviously, Flemulus and the crew here. But yeah, that was a scary transition. Sorry, I didn't realize my microphone was muted. You guys weren't prepared for the monk bomb right there.
Yeah. Well, so it looks like you can see Flem has on the upper left, like a little table there where you can see like their past performance in the event. In the like Vermintide event, like the tournament so far. So it looks like they did not finish pit due to DCs. You hate to see that. I mean,
Yeah.
as we know, this game, like people DC, people crash, it happens, and it sucks when it happens during a tournament. So my heart goes out. Looks like Mission of Mercy. I mean, that's what they're playing right now. So I think the one indicates that they are on their first try. I don't think it indicates that they have already used their first try. So I think
I
they're
would
first
assume.
trying Mission of
Yeah.
Mercy at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. This like area right here is like actually kind of sketch on. I mean, I haven't played this map on Plus. I've only played it on Linesman. At least when we were playing on Linesman, this area was definitely sketch. Like it. I don't know. I don't like the fountain. I have bad memories of the fountain. Let's just say that. But I think they're handling it perfectly fine.
Is that what that
so
is?
they'll probably be able to walk through this area just okay.
It's a fountain?
Or no, I don't. Is it not a fountain?
I
I
it
guess
was
maybe it's
just
like
a
a
statue.
statue.
I don't know.
I
Now
just-
you
I
really,
just
you really got me thinking.
clearly.
I've never looked at it that way before.
It
I mean,
has, you know,
frozen. I mean, it's snowy and cold.
well, it has fountain energy to me, you know. Just because
Yeah,
the
fair
water's
enough.
not running right now, 'cause
You're
it's
right.
too cold.
It does.
Like, I'm sure it's a fountain, you know.
Now that I think about it again, it does have fountain energy. It's a shame that we can't like, hey, Flemless, just turn around and look at the statue for a second. But, yeah, it's
No,
yeah, he did,
please.
he did, yeah.
Little my embarrassment.
It's got big fountain energy. I agree.
Oh God, it's not a fountain. No,
You don't know that. It could be for like Exon said, it could be frozen. I just had never thought of it before, but it actually kind of makes sense. Wild.
Exactly. But interesting comp here actually. So they got the Merc Battle Wizard, which is like a very old school classic frontline.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the RV's on handgun or MWP or what. But Zealot on abrasive pistols, now that's gaming right there. That's
Yeah.
like extra gaming, which we expect nothing less from Flem. Flem is like a huge Zealot enjoyer. He plays a ton of Zealot on his stream and stuff. So, you know, I think he's going to be representing the Zealot part of the comp. Probably as long as tournaments will be offered for Vermintide. So great to see him out here playing Zealot just a bit more for us.
And the synergy you're going to have with Merc, because I mean, there's no reason you wouldn't run. Sometimes people run Revive, but the health you get from Merc, and particularly in tourney balance, I don't think that there's necessarily an issue with green health on Zealot, even with certain talents on. So getting that extra buffer so you can go really low on your green health and then use all the temp with Merc is quite useful, I think.
Sure. And also just like Merc is just generally a stronger character than I think people give him credit for. You know, like the people see it as like, oh, but you know, nowadays we've got the Foot Knight, we've got the Grail Knight, and that's what we see a lot of the time in the modded realm. But I mean, Merc really does hold his own. He's got a great set of weapon options, and like consistent temp for teams is very useful in a lot of maps. You know,
He's like glue for teams. I find if teams are faltering, once you add a Merc in, it makes things so much easier.
Yeah. It's just like, I mean, he solves sustain, frontline, and a little bit of snipe. I mean, he's the all-around career that the game first introduces you to, and he really holds that identity all the way into modded. So it's cool to see.
Good guy, Kruber.
Oh yeah, good guy, Kruber. Yeah,
for sure. Sure.
So yeah, but they've got a ton of resources here, and it's definitely a very tonky comp. So they should be pretty good. You know, they're back in the room that the other team was in right now, I think. Or why are they backtracking?
I don't know why they've gone back to the fountain. They
just to remind me, you know,
an architectural study.
I think they turned around.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Oh, they got away. Oh, they got the monster.
No, I'm wrong. Okay, yeah, that explains it.
Okay, yeah. Because we're just like, why are they walking backwards? Why are they so scared?
For that guy, yeah.
You know, no. Definitely be scared of the minnow.
I would do it. I would do it for me. I don't know. I hate minotaurs. I think they're terrifying. I just hate them as a concept. I don't even hate them as a boss in Vermintide. They're the worst.
So, the funny thing is, like, I feel like when you play the game casually, Minotaurs are like the worst boss. You're like, oh my god, like they just run at me and they will keep running at me. That's so scary. That's not allowed, you know?
Yep.
But then when you start playing modded, you realize that Minotaurs are probably the easiest boss because for some reason, if you just like sit in a corner and just crouch and like stand between the Minotaur's legs, you know, ignoring the fact that that might be a little uncomfortable, they will basically swing and miss you constantly, and they like will not be able to hit you at all.
When that was
So
first discovered, and maybe you remember this long, but when that strat was first discovered, it was for a brief time called the butt plug.
I'm sure it is, because I mean, I think the
PG-13.
viewers at home could put 1 and 2 together here, but oh no, wait, they've actually lost 2 people while we're talking.
They have, yeah.
Oh, it's getting tense.
We're cracking jokes and they're
Minotaurs still
dying.
have health.
Yeah,
I know.
they lost the battle wizard for the bit, and the battle wizard was down, and they had this huge split.
Yeah. Okay, but they do. Oh, they're cutting into each other a little bit. Ooh. Okay. So they are still alive though. They can each take more than actually. Battle Wizard can only take 1 hit, but the Zealot can take 2 hits if he needs to. And they have that strength firebomb, so they can clear any wave if it comes up. I think the main thing right now is going to be specials, because they're not actually that scared of the boss. I don't think they're that scared of the wave. I think it's like things like that flamer that are causing Battle Wizard to be just pushed into the wrong spot and getting put down. But yeah, it looks like we'll be watching the Zealot clutch here. I think the focus is not going to be killing enemies.
Risky to bring a Minotaur in. This is such a risky area.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
And as I said, I hate the fountain, or if it's a fountain. This is probably why. Probably because this is happening. So if I know correctly, he's probably going to leave that gas rat up, because when you don't kill a special, it occupies that slot.
No!
So, ooh. Yeah, looks like he just barely missed the hook dodge timing, and he's going to get hooked there. So on to second try of Mission of Mercy.
We'll go.
You hate to see it, but
You
like
do.
modded runs, they can be looking so good, and they just go to crap right away in the blink of an eye,
We'll go take a look at In Good Faith. They're also having a rough time, and yes, this is going to look a little bit crazy at first, viewers. I promise I'll figure out a way to make it a little less crazy, but they are backed in a corner here on the mid event, and it is an unpleasant time.
Yeah, the mid event on Mission of Mercy is like not to be messed with. It's a tough event.
Yeah, this is a nasty event, and like I've seen a couple strats through it, but like
I haven't seen anything
variable.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that like the strat is like
rough.
very clearly great and has no edge cases. Like
this,
it's always going to be a little bit of a test of can you deal with the BS that the event gives you?
A war of attrition, kind of.
Yeah, because there's so many storm vermin on this event. There's just like so many storm vermin. So holding that room is actually really tough, and it's what they elected to do, but they couldn't hold it out, unfortunately. So it looks like we'll see a wipe there on Mission of Mercy. And again, this is one of those maps where I said it kind of feels not bad, but when you play it, you realize there's not really ever a great place to stand. And I think that's what just makes the map hard. Looks like this team is about to start the event. So we'll get to sort of see the event a little bit more start to finish, whether that finish is a win or a loss. And so what happens here is you have to do a bunch of objectives in this room. And a lot of stuff spawns, I believe, every time you do an objective, and just like throughout the event itself. I don't think these ways are exhaustible, but someone can correct me if I'm wrong, which is part of what makes the event hard, is that you're always going to have stuff up. It's just a matter of like, can you get it to a period where less stuff is up so that you have enough space to go do the event. Looks like they have, is that conflict? My eyes deceive me? I thought I saw conflict.
It's not a bad choice. It's not common, but I personally like using it.
Yeah, I mean,
because it gives you some level of crowd control and lets you keep a distance. When I play this event, we usually start at the door and then slowly move, like, usually I think we like to move left, but then in theory, you would like to use kind of those pipes that you can go up and then create that verticality. The issue starts to become is you have to know that map, because the more valves you pull, that the cloudier that room gets, right? So
yeah, for sure. And I'm like watching carefully. I'm like trying to I haven't quite gotten a clear indicator yet. But okay, yeah. So it looks like they are going to pull that next lever, and they are seeming to hold pretty okay. I mean, their comp is pretty tanky. Like Handmaiden, it takes a lot for a Handmaiden to go down. It takes a lot for an Ironbreaker to go down, and it takes a lot for a Zealot to go down.
You haven't seen my Ironbreaker then.
Oh, perhaps not.
It's bad. I see a con flag. I know
That
this
is,
an interesting thing, but
yeah.
I do see a flag here.
Wow. I mean, love to see it. Underrated pick, right? You know? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Definitely an unpopular pick, especially on Battle Wizard, I would say. Usually if you see the con flag, I think it's on Pyro, right? But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't use conflag, so I don't know the ins and outs, you could say. So maybe conflag enjoyers can correct me in the chat right now. But
I've seen it on Pyro. I've seen it on Battle Wizard. It's a little bit more rare on Unchained, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially because like Beam right now is so strong on Unchained. It's like really hard to justify almost anything else, right? And oh, looks like the Battle Wizard is going to go down in the gas there. But I don't think. Oh, they did get them up, and it looks like they're holding pretty okay. This corner, yeah, I was going to say, stuff can spawn behind you in this corner, so I'm not really sure they're super happy staying here.
Yeah, they can get the whole
but maybe
wall.
Ironbreaker is. Ironbreaker's like, guys, like, we can hold anything, right? Like, just hold right click. Duh. So, he's happy with the team being here. Zealot Flail actually is buffed on Modded Realm. That's actually one thing we haven't talked about for those who are unaware at home. These players are playing on, you could say, a community balance patch of the game. So it's not quite your live official balance here. Because if it were, we would be seeing lingering Battle Wizards soloing every single map. So in order to kind of bring the power level down a bit and make the maps a little bit more what we feel like is fair and consistent, we've kind of nerfed a lot of stuff that's like really obnoxiously OP, and also buffed some stuff that kind of struggles on official realm. Like Flail here is good when you can stagger, but on Deathwish when you can't stagger, it's not that good. So we've really buffed its damage, so it has more output akin to other weapons you could run on Zealot. And there's some other changes too, and I guess we can talk about any like very notable ones as they come up. But just one thing I wanted to notice: they're not actually playing on the live balance of the game. Because live balance, like, oh my god, we would see some teams like actually steamrolling this tournament on live balance. So definitely hard.
Interesting.
Oh, they're on Nest. Okay. So Nest is one of those things because in live. No, this isn't Nest. Wow, my brain just.
I was
there with you. To be fair, I was following that. I was like, oh, that's weird.
For a second, gave an architecture and went Nest, and then you're like, wait, what? I'm like, oh, wait.
Well, yeah, because it's the same like Dwarven Mine setting, I think, as Nest.
It is, but it's very similar.
Different. It's a different map. Yeah.
I'm sorry, my brain is just. I got no sleep, and I had one.
Oh, no worries. No worries. It's okay. Casters are allowed to make mistakes.
It's so Nest. It's a Nest.
Oh my good golly, though.
Oh, this is not good.
This is not good.
This is not good. They got two. This is gonna hurt. There's no way he's getting out of that. Oh my god. And it's actually really where they are is really precarious because you've got like this chasm in between. And you can just get booted off. There's a lot of little corridors like that. You
Good luck,
get kind of hit in. So it's really treacherous.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's a tough area for sure, and like that's the thing as well is on Plus you can get 2 monsters instead of 1. It's the only mode we're going to see today where you can actually get 2 monsters on a given trigger. And even though they're half health, I mean it's still double monster pressure. So like that will definitely limit the space that you can hold. I mean they do full damage, so it's not not like they do half damage. Unaware of that assassin there. Will get the free though, and I think Battle Wizard will go down to that. That's unfortunate that like one innocuous assassin just ruining that duo clutch there. So I mean this is what we like to see from Handmaiden. Handmaiden just again it takes a lot for a Handmaiden to die.
They've got some disablers here. Oh. Okay, so they're using invis, which will help a lot, I think.
Yeah, so. I mean this is like the clutch build here is like Invis Handmaiden, right? Because
Where
having Invis
is
on such a
the
short
hand axe?
cooldown,
Oh no!
I don't think they go for that second res. I think they just
left the door
So
to die.
no. This is intentional.
That
This is
is a
intentional.
one-handed axe they are using.
I guess for the extra dodge distance, or extra dodges, I meant. Because I think one-handed axe has like a lot of dodges, if I remember correctly. But anyways, I think the reason there that they res the Ironbreaker and didn't res anyone else is because they actually wanted the Ironbreaker to peel a lot of the aggro, and then kind of die as slow as they could, which will make this just a little bit more clutchable. I think they're
No.
now Battle Wizards taking the turn of holding the entire wave and inevitably dying. They're really just trying to stall here until they get a lucky break. And like the only thing I don't like about one-handed axe in this situation is temp. Like your temp must be really sketchy. Oh, but they have Wraithwalk.
No.
Oh my god, they're like playing the ultimate, I don't need any teammates build right now.
Oh, this is
Oh,
so
that's so
stressful.
silly. Someone else is now going to take the torch.
Go, Zealot, go!
Go, Zealot, go. I mean, basically,
Survive.
Zealot is just
no!
I mean, this is perfect.
It's
Zealot,
good for survivability, per se, and getting your teammates up, but the issue with this is they might
When
get
does it
stuck
end?
in this loop of rezzing, dying,
Yeah.
rezzing, dying, and the whole team's not going to get up, so
Yeah.
you're kind of stuck in this area.
So what they really need right now is they need to be rezzing Battle Wizard consistently because Battle Wizard is probably the only one who can actually chip away at the bosses. Because I
Yeah.
think like with this horde right now,
Well,
I
you
mean,
can
it's making
Ironbreaker
everything
as
harder,
well.
but it's not
The
really
Ironbreaker's
important.
still up. So.
Oh, the ID is still up. Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. I think if they can manage to get 4 people up, even if they die again, they have another chance here. But like, yeah, this is. I mean, it takes a lot of your tournament time. Oh, he's gotta shoot a tree.
The
gonna hurt.
rebuild, the rebuild.
Oh, okay. Zealots up. Okay, they might clear it up. Oh, this is gonna be tough because
The funny thing is,
not too bad. I was
like,
expecting more.
We've had some teams like this in the past. Like I think Uganda's team, it like always plays in a way where they end up in like sketchy situations like this, but they manage, and we haven't seen a team play this way in a long time. It's kind of exciting, but on the edge of your seat, be spectating this.
There's definitely a level of controlled chaos here, and again, Handmaiden is doing what she needs to do. It's just the survivability because everyone's kind of separate is getting very difficult because I think there's still 2 bosses up, plus elites.
Oh my gosh.
And everything else that Onslaught gives it.
No, it's over. It's over. Unfortunate.
Oh no, Handmaiden got
guys.
grabbed. Yeah, rip.
Handmaiden got grabbed.
Oh,
it was that was wild to watch. So I'm glad we got to see that. Actually, that was a crazy, just sort of sequence of play.
Oh yeah, that. I do not envy the position they were in. It was a really valiant effort, though.
Well, here's winging it.
Particularly in those tunnels, getting that is rough.
Alright,
and
take wave
now
here.
we're on to Old Hunt, so it's totally different map here.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're about to. Well, they have a little bit to go, but we might be able to see.
I've been waiting to see somebody trigger the mid event. I think Festering 5 have already cleared it, but the other 2 tier 4 teams that we were watching today, they're both trying to fight there. It was maybe No Monks, Just Apes has been like fighting in the same area for a long time, and these guys just got a this boss trigger. So.
Yeah, so this area of Old Hunts is like surprisingly tricky. You can get a boss or a patrol once you open that underground door. And one thing you'll notice with these maps, these really open maps like Old Hunts and Pit and stuff, is that a lot of teams will take extremely specific routes through the map. And that's because they're kind of like tried and tested. Like they've gone through, figured out if you route exactly this way, you hit these triggers at these times, and it's basically just the consistency, Like if you go this right path here and hold this area, and you open that door, you guarantee get a trigger and can react to it at that time, and then plan around it. So that consistency is really nice. Going up into church here, I think because they have cleared the trigger, they should probably make it all the way to church, no problem. And I think the real next kind of juicy difficulty spike will be that mid event, that we've feared so much on Old Haunts. And looks like now we're switching over to a different map. This is
Oh, I
also
just
Old
noticed.
Haunts. This is also Old Haunts. This is the like alternate path, right? Yeah. This is Old Haunts, the alternate path. So I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys know, but there's like an extra little alternate path you can take on the left. That's like a secret path, like you have to get a key for it or something. And I think I don't
Yeah,
actually
you
know
go
where
through a
most of the books
brewery.
are, but I'm pretty sure there's like a book in here, like a Grimm or something.
There is, yeah.
Oh, that's an
And
interesting spot.
honestly, I mean, those rats, they're vibing, you know? They're on the treadmill there. They're getting their workout
They're
in.
doing their best. They only have but
They're
so much
doing their
capacity as humans.
best. They're doing their best. I love it.
They are trying.
So are those white storm vermin? Those are just cosmetic, right? They're not actually amped up, correct?
No, I think they are amped up.
They are amped up. I don't remember if that was added into Dutch or
I'm
not.
gonna
I-
swing us over really quick to no monks, just
I'm pretty
apes,
sure.
because
could
I
be
think
wrong.
they're
I
a
could be
bit
wrong.
of it.
I think they are.
Comments, but I don't remember. The last time I played Dutch was when Cor was still experimenting with the white storm.
Gotcha. Yeah, as far as I remember,
I'll
the
grab it.
white storm vermin are super armored. So they have different breakpoints than like normal storm vermin do.
My headshot rate's terrible right now, but whatever.
And I think
It doesn't matter. I would actually disable.
I can't remember if they're.
I should have
Yeah,
done
no,
that as well.
they're
lol.
super. They're super armored. I'm pretty sure. So
See, I would rather play those because
Oh,
when
my
you're in
clothes.
squared,
Yeah.
instead of the white storm vermin, you just have straight up Scarrick.
yeah, squared is like really cursed. It's definitely a very different vermin experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
Okay, so
squared
that
has
was
like a
cool.
ton of those
That's
mini
cool.
bosses.
All right, so it looks like I don't know if they've pulled it yet. They might just be.
I don't think they pulled
This
it.
might just be trash right
Yeah,
now.
I think the door would be
They're
open
about to
now if they
start
pulled
this
it.
event pretty soon, and this
Yeah.
event, getting out of the church isn't bad. It's all the stuff to get out of that like courtyard that can be kind of
Yeah. Well, there's a lot that happens really quickly in this event. So like basically as soon as you pull that map, you've started a timer where the door will open at some point at like when that timer expires. And waves will come in a bit before that timer expires. They'll be climbing up through the window outside. They'll be climbing into the church here. And then once that door opens, basically is kind of the critical moment where you are either in the church or you're out of the church and you can't really change your mind. Because a lot of stuff will start coming inside the church at that point. And there's a lot, they actually have like disablers and monk wave like spawn right outside the door to try and make it just a little bit harder for you to get outside. What a lot of teams do is they go outside and they go to the right. And when they do
death
this,
spot. That's a death spot in my opinion. If you miss that, because if
Oh,
you miss
no.
that, first of all, is there a boss in the Dutch mid event?
oh, there should be. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, this can.
This is getting
Go
bad
wrong a
very
little bit.
quickly. Yeah, this is not good.
Well, so they have pulled the map because it says leave the village.
They have. No, they
So I
have.
think
Yeah.
they're holding here for sure. Like they're definitely holding here now. They're committed.
But I
And
found going to the right with that boss, you have to, because the strat is to go to the right, go up, go through the church again, and make that loop, right? But if you miss it, you're pretty much screwed.
oh yeah, I mean this whole event is if you screw up X, you'll die. Right? Yeah, I totally agree. But also like that is I think that's what we most commonly see. I actually don't see teams holding the church as commonly, but it is very possible to hold the church. You just have to be like extremely prepared for it. You get a big armor wave like you get there, and they used like they used resources. And now they might try to get out, but there's going to be specials like waiting for them outside that they didn't kill yet because those specials don't route downstairs very well. Another thing is when you do leave the church, you do spawn more stuff, and you have to go and specifically cause the wall to break in order to stop that.
Yeah.
So I think what they did here is like here's the benefit of holding in the church if you can do it is you technically get less enemies overall because it means that you can kind of time in between the wave like going outside and like breaking that wall and getting the wave at the time that you want rather than like when you do rush outside you kind of get the full event's fury at once. So the downside of holding in the church though is that it's just like a little bit of an unstable hold if you're not like really well practiced on it. So and the reses are all outside, I believe. So if someone goes down, yeah. So
that's what they're dealing with right now is the battle wizard. They just can't. They tried a second ago to get to them, but they just can't get to the battle wizard.
But overall, looks like pretty clean performance here. Like basically did one of the two strats that had in mind, and like they just have a couple waves to clear and then they'll be able to move forward. So and I think if they can clear that like tough early wave that they cleared, I think they can pretty much handle anything that they would be throwing at the church right now. And of course they have those strength pots from GK which are super nice when trying to kill these big elite waves. So and of course, Witch Hunter Captain giving crits to GK is super huge for GK's damage and Swiss Slaying uptime. So I think they're basically holding fine. And I think they're going to get that Battle Wizard up. Fingers crossed. I hope I don't commentate or curse this, but it looks pretty good. It looks good. I mean, I'm just going to comment how it is, right?
It happens. Don't worry. It happened a lot yesterday, so...
Oh no, I hate to see it. But okay, this hill is like actually sketchy.
It is. It really actually is. It is. It's and then like the amount of times I've died behind that exact rock because something hit me is
well, yeah, because you can get a horde in this area and there's not a fantastic place to hold. Like there's no clear hold spot. Basically where Witch Hunter is right now, if they went a little bit forward by the trees, where teams will tend to hold if they get a wave here. But like the downside of that is the special angles are awkward. Like you'll get Blightstormers and trees and stuff like that. There's also some angles on the left that are trash. Like you can get a Blightstormer that spawns in on the bridge and is basically unkillable because the like horde is in front of him. And or this crap happens, right? Again, another Blightstormer in the trees covered by like Flamer. You know, of course they have good sniping right now, so they are managing, but like all these things could be, you know, run enders if they didn't deal with them immediately. And that's another thing when you're watching Vermintide, right? Like you're seeing them kill these threats, you know, on a consistent basis, but like you just need one of these threats to go unattended. And it just ruins the run, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the nice edge you're constantly playing on with Vermintide modded. And that's why, like, doing really well on these maps, like all 4 maps, is such an achievement because, like, again, it just means that, you know, you don't even die to that, like, 1 out of 500 chance when it occurs. Like, you're that focused, that consistent. So the teams that are out here right now performing well, and the ones that are also just having fun and giving it their best shot, all to be very respected right now. So
I'm going to go ahead and pull this over to help We Need a Team Name, because they're also doing this mid-event, but I think... I want to see how they handle it in comparison. So it's there's a couple of teams that have been doing this, and most of our tier 4 teams. So Festering 5 made it through. Looks like Winging It did not, and then No Monks, Just Apes. We just saw them make it through. So let's see how We Need a Team Name.
So, I mean, they're asking for a team name, so maybe the chat can come together and create a team name for these folks.
Can you get them a team name? It's a little late, but...
It's a little late, but, you know, can we put our brains together and come up with something nice for him? I trust the chat to be creative here.
For the sake of having old Joe on the team, I think they need to be called, like, the Pure of Heart. Joe is, like, the most purest, nicest, sweetest angel. He's too good for modded. We don't deserve it.
He's really nice. And I think he's also one of the, like, older players as well. Which just goes to show that, like, you know, our community really brings together people from around the world and from different backgrounds and different experiences. And it's just cool to see, like, a lot of people I've talked to in the Vern community, like, have a lot to share that I wouldn't be exposed to, you know, in my community where everyone has a similar experience, right?
And Joe's been around since Vermintide 1, I think.
Yeah. Wow. I think you're right, which is wild. What a champ, honestly.
Yeah.
And he's playing with great people
no.
too. I mean, Elvis has been around the community for a while. Mr. Fluffy Dino's been around the community for a while, and also plays with Core and others that you've described. At least I see them in the same voice chat a lot. I don't know if that means they're playing, but I think they are. And I don't know Jeppe as well, but I'm pretty sure he's been around.
And Core's just playing chess.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So maybe I'm wrong about that, but
All
looks
right,
like they're-
so it looks like they're waiting at the door, which is the general strat, and then we'll see what happens here.
Oh no!
So they are going to
wizard.
go outside. So we're going to get a totally different taste
No,
here.
no,
So they
yeah.
pop the strength pot and pop that wave immediately. I think the goal is to basically soften up those monks, also to get rid of the pack masters that spawn right outside the door. Looks like they are going to hold in church though, doing another DPS strat here, which is a good setup for it. They've got like 3 strength pots and a firebomb.
Oh my god!
And they have a battle wizard probably running
terrifying.
Kaboom. I can't tell if they're running Kaboom, but like I think they probably are.
I think it's Kaboom. I'm not seeing the ult reset, but I'm not sure where the ult meter is on this UI.
Yeah.
So there is no boss in this event, in this terror event. Long.
I guess not. I guess I'm just cooked. But like I remember there being bosses when I've played it before.
Maybe
so
it's changed.
Maybe it's changed, or maybe if you hold inside the church, you don't get a boss. Like I don't know.
It'd be weird. Yeah, I think it is Kaboom because they're. No, it's not Kaboom because there still has a fire trail. I think it's Burnout.
Oh, okay. Or Volan's Quickening. Never know.
I'm still trying to remember what these various things do.
Clean, like it didn't really seem they broke a sweat.
Yeah, honestly, I don't want
Uh-oh.
to jinx it, but like I am kind of confused why there's no boss, because I feel like when I was playing this in the past, there definitely was a boss. Maybe
I seem to remember that, though. I agree with you, actually.
Although, it's possible though that like I'm remembering playing this map like before Dutch existed, so it was on actual Spicy, where I think there was a boss. Because I think there he just copied the Onslaught Plus event initially.
Yeah, okay, so he's on Volans actually, because I actually found his ult meter because it's a little purple skull and it only shows up when it's ready, in the middle of his screen.
What's Volans do again?
Good spotting. It reduces the cooldown of Firewalk, but it doesn't give you like a second burnout or anything special. It's just
cooldown reduction.
Yeah, it's pretty fat cooldown reduction though.
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're totally right.
And then it's gone, so he's definitely not using burnout.
Right. Yeah, because the real indicator is like, if we had a second alt here, it would be burnout, and if there were no fire trail, we saw the Kaboom explosion, then it would be Kaboom. But looks like they're dealing with this perfectly okay, which is great to see. I think basically they're holding out really well, just like the last team. They have 3 people on down though. Am I seeing that right? 3 skulls, or is that just like red dots in the bottom corner?
No, they're not down. Yeah, they're not down.
Okay.
Yeah, their health bars are full, so it means something else.
Are you sure? Because no, but I mean like
you can see them in the picture.
I guess
they're there. We've visual,
okay, yeah, but I guess how would they be having? No, but they have waste stalkers. That's how they would get green health. I don't know. I think the skulls might mean that they're on down. Or at least that's usually
downstate. Oh, okay.
Yeah, downstate.
Sorry, I misinterpreted what you're saying. Yeah, no, that is totally a possibility. I thought you meant like down as in they were dead. I was like, no, they're right there.
No.
What do you
No.
Down.
Oh, yeah. I also thought you were saying like, oh, look, you can just look at it, and I'm like,
no.
Yeah,
no, they could very well
they have
be
a waste stalker. Of course, they have some green health. Yeah. Okay, but I mean, if that is the case and my eyes don't deceive me, that does mean that they are in a little bit of a risky situation. So if someone does go down, it could go fast, go south pretty fast, which is not what we would want to see. But they are a pretty tanky and good holding comp, so probably going to be okay. And usually there's supplies here at the top of the hill. Like top of the hill to the right, that little like hut or whatever. Usually there's like a med kit or a healing drought, you know. Hopefully this is where commentators curse like works in reverse, you know, if I keep talking about the med kit in the house and they'll get the med kit in the house, right?
This battle wizard is pretty adept and pretty much nuked everything, but then I'm like, I shouldn't say that. Like, okay, so chat says they're on burnout. We spent time looking at the UI and being like,
Trying to
Wait, they
figure
are
it
in
out.
burnout? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's just we don't see the actual bar, so it's hard to tell.
yeah, this UI is like, it took me a while to find where the health was. I don't even know if they have a down or not.
I'm gonna go
That's right.
ahead.
There's no such thing as Caster's Curse. Whoever commented that, I totally agree.
I'm gonna go ahead and take us over to another team in tier 3. This is In Good Faith on Righteous Stand, and they're currently doing the mid event here on Righteous Stand, which was kind of a
Ooh.
huge skill check yesterday
Classic.
for a lot of our teams. And skill check may be
Anyways.
uncharitable, but like it was
Oh.
definitely one of the hardest moments for a lot of our teams
Oh,
yesterday.
did they crash? Oh, I thought they were crashing for a sec because I saw
Yeah,
like 3
me
people
too.
running in place. Oh man, that scared me.
This is one of the events where I think there's like only one strat for this event. I don't think I've ever seen an alternate strat.
Oh, there are 3. There are 3 exit.
And honestly, the hard part isn't kiting. It's just because like in Verm, you want to kill things and you kind of want to kill less here and just get them gathered and kill them in a safe place. Like you can't fight them, and if someone goes down, that's it. Don't res them unless you 100% are sure you can. Otherwise, the whole thing collapses.
So, Exit, actually, just one funny thing is you can beat this event without kiting. What you do is you go up the elevator early and you use Big Sister Wall to wall in the boss in a corner, and you shred the boss, and then after that, shred all the ways.
Yeah, but that's
So-
that's super common because normally you're gonna get overwhelmed and like the what's the word I'm looking for? The elevator won't move if there's enemies near it. So
Oh, but there's like, yeah. I mean, like, there are some teams that have like nailed this strat though. Like, they've figured it out, and like they do it very consistently. But of course, it's like, it's not the classic strat. It's not what people gravitate to.
common, yeah,
And
yeah.
Also, I think Sister Big Wall might be nerfed, which is probably the main reason they can't do it. If like, yeah, I'm pretty sure right now on TB they like nerfed Big Wall Sister because too many events were getting cheesed by people walling bosses in corners. So, but anyways, yeah, I mean it's still classic kite though. Moving as a team, the event has gotten easier since the olden days that we're familiar with, Exen, which is that now you spawn in the event no matter what. So you don't have people spawning at the top of the elevator.
Yeah, you
They're
spawn
basically
up
taking them out.
pairs. Yep. And
Yeah.
like but the idea here is that you let Gas and the boss and the sometimes Blightstormers just take care of everything and see how things have started calming down, and then you just kind of handle it from there.
Yep, for sure. It's more about oh my god! We see a double down from the minnow here! People weren't blocking! Oh no!
That pain. The beauties just beat the pit.
Good for them.
Very excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like In Good Faith will recover from that pretty funny turn of events there. But they are getting more waves right now. So they do have to be careful.
Okay.
And
I have a
looks
question. Not to interrupt, I have a
stabilized.
question. Would you rather
Yeah.
see this mid event or the end event for Old Haunts on tier 4? What is the opinion?
Old Haunts end event. That's a juicy one. Yep.
I don't mean to abandon you In Good Faith, but In Good Faith we'll believe that you succeed, and we're gonna go watch the
Good
end
faith,
event
yeah.
here for Festering 5.
Mixing might be with you.
Yes, yeah, all the goodest
Yeah,
of faith
so-
here.
Yeah, just this statue head go flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this event here there's a couple different ways you can do it, but if you do it the way that they're doing it right now, which is to move the gargoyle heads together, you have to go in like a very specific order. I don't know why there's skeletons. That's new. Like,
Sorry,
what?
it's just really funny the way you said it. I don't know why. My God.
Like that is definitely new and did not exist before.
In the crypt?
I promise you, that is new. Like, I've never seen that.
I've seen this before. It's been a while since I've played this map, but I feel like I've encountered skeletons here before.
But the skeletons didn't even exist in the game files until the Tower of Treachery was released.
Right.
But
yeah.
I'm telling you, I think I've played it after they added.
Oh,
the
like
skeletons.
after they've added to the game. Okay, yeah. So maybe they've changed it. Now they're part of it. I don't know, but so there's a very specific routing you have to do with the gargoyles. It doesn't seem like they spawned in like the major wave yet, which is confusing to me because I think they should have. What? Okay, maybe they've just changed the event. I don't know, because like the event is confusing me right now. But it looks like they got through the event and they're actually now running away up the hill. It's a little bit deceptive here. Like your instinct is to run to the end, but actually you kind of have to fight a bit because they spawn a bunch of stuff in front of you while you're escaping the crypt here. And I mean, this team though, like really loves having everything come through one corridor. So I think they're pretty happy with this situation, to be honest, in terms of like holding as a group.
Yeah, in general, they've been our fastest clear, I think, of the teams that we've had on stream.
They've got this locked down.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe we need a spicy tier.
Make it harder.
Time to and it's only going to be Bell, Righteous.
Well, also another thing is right with each tournament, teams are getting better and better over time, right? Like, because a lot of those early tournaments, like people hadn't figured out strats yet, and also like there's just less time that people had on the game, so you know, it's a different ball game than it is now, where we have like Haname must have so many hours in this game at this point, and I'm pretty sure he's like, you know, and so like, you know, there's a lot of examples of how to do these events now, which I think is basically what I'm trying to say, and that is a big deal. But I'm not trying to take away from their achievements. Obviously, very hard to execute, and it's great to see them get a clear there on Motons, nice and clean.
This situation might be a little risky. So we have 2 down. It looks like they're in the event. The boss is still up, and you have a Mark and an Iron Breaker. And Mark could technically help save this situation. You know, because he's still capable of doing damage. But it looks like a lot of the stuff is done. It's just a matter of the special control, I think.
Yeah, I think they're in a situation where they're just looking to survive, not get grabbed by specials, and
like that.
I was gonna say that commentator curse. It's not real. It's not real. I would never cause a team to lose, unfortunately.
Well, we'll go back to In Good Faith. They were in a bit of a rough spot, but they've gotten a lot better here. This is T3, so
okay. Yeah, so it looks like they are in a similar spot to before. They still don't have a healing drought for the victor, but they are like pretty much done with the event. I think it's hard to tell; it's a little pixelated, but I'm pretty sure they've cleared the boss at this point, and they're just looking to clean up everything that's remaining before they go upstairs and before they move on.
Yeah, they have lifting platform done.
Right, the barracks, by the way, which are the next part of this map, are surprisingly tricky. I don't know what the trigger situation is, but getting monsters in the barracks is like always really nasty.
That's the one that you just never want to get a monster there.
Let's go ahead and I'll pull us across to Southland Shakers because they're in the final event here on Righteous Stand, which admittedly I think is considered easier. At least that's what we were discussing yesterday. Than that mid event is.
I think personally, I have a weird take on this. I don't think the end event is easier. I just think if you've made it to the end event, you have more of the skills you need to beat it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, I think if you put a team that was like not clearing the mid event on the end event, they'd have a slightly higher chance of doing it. Because the kite on the end event is like is like deceptively tricky. Like there are ways to screw it up that are like really tough, and like getting reses in the end event is very tough. Whereas on the mid event they've buffed it now, so you can like get reses very simply. But yeah, I mean, if you can kite as a team though, this end event should be pretty chill. But um, it looks like they are doing the classic kite here, where you go up on the stairs, and as I say that, two
Oh,
people
no,
get
this
down.
is
Like, I
so
should
bad.
just not talk, you know? I should just, every time I say things, teams lose. So, okay,
No.
well,
That was so fast. I didn't even have time to
yeah,
bring up a different team. Oh no.
it just goes to crap so quickly, right?
Long. Why? What are you doing?
I don't know.
Poor team.
Like, I don't have a magic button here that's like spawn 5
All right, kill
disablers
them.
and get them, you know? Like,
End this
okay,
run.
I may have been a winner of the versus tourney, but that doesn't mean I'm playing as the rats right now, okay? Like I promise.
Casual versus tourney winner drop right there like that. You know, yeah, I may have won. Very funny. All right,
Okay.
we're on
I'll
Warpstone
keep it.
Sniffers now. I forgot you won
I'll
that
change my
actually.
casting. So maybe if I just say the opposite, maybe if I just say, you know, this is so hard, they'll never clear. Oh my god, there's 3 monks on the screen. They are for sure dead. They will clear those monks, right?
That would apply
Right?
for me.
Is that
though.
how it
I
works?
would be for sure dead. So...
I would not hit 3 monks. I had an instance where like I don't know. Someone said to me, they're like, "Did you ult for 1 monk?" And I was like, "Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
of
I
course.
did."
They're terrifying.
Yeah, because the main thing with monks is, you know, at least on Mata where there's no death wish and they can't be super easily staggered, is if they get their first hit on you and you're not the host, they are guaranteed basically to get the remaining 3 hits on you from their like initial combo. So like there is a thing as host privilege. Like host privilege is like you get to block half the monk combo rather than like having to block the entire monk combo, you know, and things
Do you
like
think
this.
I used to always host?
Because you hate monks. Oh no, do they have a DC? They have
This
pawns.
doesn't agree with organized religion. All right, we're gonna go ahead and go over to what's a trigger instead because they're on the same mission here, but they're getting closer to the. Is that the mid event there or the end event? I actually don't know.
This is the mid event. Yeah.
Okay.
They're in the mid event, I think. Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
they haven't started it yet, but they might.
Yeah, they still have to answer the call. So.
And I want to see how they do this because I don't feel like we've actually seen the event start and kind of go through it.
Yeah. So. I mean, it's a little bit low FPS sometimes, but they should be. Yeah, they should be. Okay, yeah. So they're holding now inside the cubby. This is generally what teams end up doing. But like one thing that's awful about this cubby that you can see right now is the enemies climb up above you and then drop down on top of you. So like you think this corner is nice, and then it's like the game's like, actually there's nav mesh like all over here. So
This might be calculated because they might be holding all those ads and spawns, and then the shade is doing all the levers.
Yeah, and I mean this is a common thing that we see with shade comps is like shades will solo event objectives while teams are holding the main portion of the waves. Because if shade has aggro and then just presses the ultimate ability, like they lose aggro of that wave, it'll immediately route to their teammates. So they basically can like grab a big wave, kite it for a little bit, then press ult, and then go and like walk to the next objective and do it. And they're not going to be killing a whole lot, just as needed. And their rest of their team is going to be bringing the pain against the main waves there. And so totally a viable strat, yeah.
If the shade goes down, because they do have a down, and the shade dies, where are they respawning?
I think they spawn outside.
Okay, so that shade needs to keep on that health as much as possible, otherwise the
I'm
whole
trying
thing
to
is gonna like,
remember.
go down the tube.
I don't think they spawn in this room, but I could be wrong. I'd love for someone to correct me in the chat there, but I'm pretty sure they spawn like.
Room.
Yeah, maybe
Sequence
they spawn.
They spawn in the room.
They spawn in the room.
That's what
Okay.
sequence says.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe they do spawn in this room and then that's okay. But still, like even getting a res in here is like not
It looks
easy. I
like
mean, you have a giant wave,
the
so
Shade cleared it for now, so the event's over and they just got to do cleanup.
gotcha.
But this is a lot of stuff. The Shade sacrificed themselves.
Okay, I think this is more akin to what I remember. It says in official, it's this room, or depending on where the team is, it can be near the valves. Because I remember seeing valve spawns before, and that's always like super annoying and rough to deal with because you're pretty much not getting them up for a while. Um, Yeah, it looks like this is one of the final waves of the event because they
Yeah.
have the talk to head a command right now, and they have like the big monk wave, which I'm pretty sure it's mostly storm vermin, and then you get monks toward the end, if I remember correctly. Um, but
It looks
it's a
like they
tough
got it.
event, but they are managing pretty
Yeah, it
okay,
looks
so
like
that's
they
good
got
to
it back
see.
under control. And the Shade's back up here, so the Shade just was revived. So they've got it pretty clear. I'd be like,
Yeah, I
they're
mean,
they're
they
tough.
still have. There is still that hallway after the event that is treacherous, and we did see that other team, hold on for dear life many times. We also see that like that nasty boss trigger in the area that's basically similar to Into the Nest in terms of architecture. And they still have definitely more challenge left in this map. Mission of Mercy does not show mercy, so.
Yeah, I distinctly remember the first time I played through this DLC. I did think these maps were quite challenging, honestly. Like the remakes of
Oh
the
yeah.
old Karak Asgaraz or whatever it was. Like they definitely
And
amped them up.
modded players are like, oh, potentially hard map. Like, can we crank that up to like 100, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's go check out Festering 5 because they're on Righteous Stand mid event here. So good job, by the way, I should say, to What's a Trigger for pulling their way through that. That was really well done. A lot of teams that I've been watching, kind of as best I can, have really struggled with that. So that was quite well handled.
So here's the kiting strat. I think so they have a bile troll.
Gross.
It's I don't know if there's really any particular favorite boss to get. I would say the Storm Vermin is the best Storm Vermin. The Storm Fiend is probably the preferable boss to get because it'll do a lot of damage for you and it's kind of slow and dumb. But I mean, it's not bad. Bile Troll isn't bad here. I don't think there's necessarily worse ones to get.
No, Bile Troll I think is the chillest boss you can get, TBH. Just because it doesn't move very quickly, so it's not pressuring your kite all that much. Um, and they also they've cleared most of the waves here, and they just have parked Unchained right on top of like where the next waves do spawn, because after you've like quote quote cleared the event, the waves now spawn outside of the elevator tunnel. So if you park someone there, you can just clear them on repeat. Got a couple disablers here, but it's not a big deal. Looks like Unchained couldn't quite hold the wave by herself. No surprise there. So now they're starting to get a couple waves coming in, but again, Bile Troll should be pretty chill. I really think the only way something could go wrong here is like Bile Troll gets like a sick vomit on like 2 or 3 people. Or sorry, I should say an unfortunate vomit on 2 or 3 people. And I'm really not beating the I'm siding with the Skaven allegations.
No,
now,
no,
aren't I?
no. You're fine. You're fine.
But and then of course like multiple disablers. I think you need like Bile Troll plus disablers in order for them to lose this, which I think is just super rare. So they're just gonna crunch this down. I think they unfortunately didn't phase the Bile Troll the first time, so they did have to do an extra phase in order to kill it, but it should be
Well,
dead here, so.
let's go check out a team that is maybe having a little bit more difficulty with the Bile Troll. Back to tier 3 here's What's a Trigger. And they are being attacked quite brutally right now, if I'm being honest.
Ooh, yeah. So they got
Oh, this
the
room is. I mean, it looks like the Foot Knight's doing a. Oh no! I just saw a hook grab him. But the
yeah.
Foot Knight was doing a good job holding everything back, so that Shade can take care of the troll. I think one of the riskier things here is there needs to be that Shade. If they go invisible, they need to let the their teammate know, because that aggro swap can be nasty if you're unprepared for it.
Yeah, for sure. And looks like they did end up getting rid of that troll. No, this isn't the same team, is it?
No, I think
It's a different team. My bad. Yeah, so looks like this team has made it through the event. They have
that might be my mistake.
three
there. I
people on
apologize.
down. Yeah, they have 3 people on down. So the Zealot, Shade, and Foot Knight are all like on down, meaning if they get downed again, they are dead and will respawn. It's not like the Ranger veteran is super healthy either, so it's a little bit of a tense spot here because they are about to enter a hard area of the map. Looks like they're trying to pull from the next area, or there was a special that spawned there. I couldn't quite tell what's going on there. I mean, I think really the main test for them is like, do they handle the next area okay, and do they have boss triggers or not? You know, as we saw with that one team, they got double boss in this area, and it was absolutely brutal. You know.
Well, here's something we haven't seen, by the way. This is, I think, the end event for Mission of Mercy, I believe, right, where you destroy a bunch of Skaven, I don't know, machinery. So this is Ave Sigmar who's on this. So let me pull it up. The stream is going to be a little choppy here just at first, but it'll clean up, I think, relatively quickly. Hold on.
And this is not nest, it's a nest.
Right.
There you go.
So I think if I remember correctly, the end event on Mission of Mercy is like definitely more chill than the rest of the map. But I could be cooked on that opinion.
This is the final event that they're on right now, I think. Because it says destroy the Skaven tunnels. So this is the barrel event, I think.
It is,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I think so. Unfortunately, they will lose... No, excuse me, sorry. They will lose Zealot in a corner here. Not the best, but they at least aggroed the wave well away from their team, so that the rest of the team can do a nice kite here. Oh, Battle Wizard ult?
No, that ult.
Okay.
Misfired, I think.
Still, no. They needed to go through that. Oh, okay. Well, they got the handmaiden.
Wait a minute. I feel like we've seen this before. Yeah. Hold on a minute.
Oh, ooh, little sneaky kite. I did not know you could drop through there. That is like kind of nice, actually. I'm like mentally recording that. So Wraithwalk Handmaiden cannot be stopped, hopefully. We'll be going.
That. Oh gosh.
I'm wondering why they're routing here. Oh, because of the res. Right. Because I was gonna say I don't know if you actually want to route here.
It looks like it looks like the boss has aggro on the handmaiden, which isn't bad because now he can do the res on the I think it's an iron.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like they'll get 2 people up. IB can taunt this wave. Ooh, one of the bosses is back on them.
No, it might be both.
There are 3 bosses, by the way, I think.
Yeah. Oh, there's the Zealot passive proc. They unfortunately get grabbed. Oh, he didn't actually get the res off.
No, he got
that's a yikes.
Corner. I think I saw 3 bosses in there. I think I saw 2 ogres and a chaos spawn.
Yeah, at minimum there's I think you're right. I think there's 1 Roger on the handmaiden and then 2 other bosses on the remaining player. And I'm saying remaining player because I think they're going to be exchanging who that person is a few times. The person who's not handmaiden. I'm not sure. Yeah, these are not very planned kites, I think, because some of these areas are like I know have dead ends and stuff, and I'm like a little frightened to see people walking toward them. But I guess
because they're being rezzed there, so like they're
I think
dead end, so it's gonna clutter up no matter what you do.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a cluster, and I mean I think handmaiden can pretty much kite this forever, so it's just a matter of can they either kill anything or do the event, and I think they probably want to just do the event. Because if they can actually get to the elevator after the event is completed, that does buy them quite a lot of time. I think the wave route up top? To the top of the elevator? Like, these are things I don't know, because I've never kind of been in this situation before. But but it looks like they have gotten the second tunnel done, so we're now at
Oh.
2 out of 3.
Oh, the Wraith Walk. I forgot.
Oh
This
my
kid
god!
had
Yeah,
Wraith Walk. I was like, oh my
oh my god!
Okay.
No, I have the same heart attack. Like I look at that and I'm like, oh, they are not getting through that. And then it's like, oh wait, they are using the one talent in the game where they can probably get through that. Because for those viewers at home, if you haven't played on Deathwish before, you can't just like shove stuff to create space. Like on Official Realm, if you push enemies by just holding right click and pressing left click, you'll push enemies back, even like elites and stuff, and you'll be able to create some space. But on Modded Realm, when they play with Deathwish, that does nothing, basically.
Might be
It'll
getting
push
it back
back.
together.
Yeah.
This
Ooh,
poor
nice.
zealot is just always backed into a corner, but on the other hand, it does keep some of the spawn stuff out of them. Looks like the battle wizard went down. Oh, the leech. But yeah, if you shove something on Deathwish, it just kind of looks at you like, now what? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's like, excuse me? What are you doing?
This is a brutal event once it falls apart. I think it's brutal in any case, but
Ooh. Yeah, I agree. I think when this event goes to crap, it is not very good. But I mean,
it's hard
Raise
in
Walk
a
Handmaiden.
so.
No!
That's
Oh,
that.
that pounce was wild. Did you see where that came from?
No,
Oh,
that's crazy.
no.
Well,
Oh,
unfortunately, a
tragic.
defeat right there at the end. But I guess you could sympathy donate to charity if you want. Let's just, it's the top of the hour, so we've got one more hour left here. You are, of course, watching Fight to Tide, the Onslaught series. We're doing a charity tournament today. I'm Corbeck, alongside me, Lonk and Exon, as we walk through, as we walk through all this. But, Exon, if you want to run through the charity again and let people know how they can donate to the organization that this stream is in benefit of.
Yes, so again, we are donating to APOPO. The donation link is pinned. Please do not PayPal Ishka. Use the link in the stream chat pin. Poor Ishka has been getting PayPal donations with like no information. But APOPO is an organization that trains giant African pouch rats to detect tuberculosis or detect landmines because they are not heavy enough to. You all right there?
Yeah, I know.
Because they're not heavy enough to set the landmine off. And despite this being a very niche game, you all have currently donated about $5,000 towards this organization. Wow. So I cannot thank you guys enough.
Well done, everyone, for contributing. And there's still plenty of time here to donate. And, of course, all our teams here completing with this in mind. But let's jump back into the action there with that reminder here. We got about an hour to go. Obviously, we'll let the teams that are still playing finish out, so probably more like an hour and 15. But we've got another end event here on Old Haunts. It's monks, no monks, just apes here are on the end event for Old Haunts. So let's see what they can do. We saw one team handle this pretty well already. I believe that was the Festering 5, and hopefully these guys can do the same.
Well, I'm kind of curious if this event's changed at all, because again, I was surprised by the skeletons. That was new.
Yes, the spooky skeletons. Yeah.
So from what I remember, there's
good.
a big wave through this door with like a bunch of Chaos Warriors.
Well, they
are still getting
that.
Yeah. So they're clearing this as quick as they can, and then I think they're gonna get more stuff chasing them. They should get like a big wave through the door behind them right now. Feels like they're getting a moderate wave. Mixed in with some skeletons, and most teams will kind of chill out, hold this room for a little bit, as long as they need to stabilize or whatever, and then after that they'll go through to the right, that like right corridor, and like move on to grab the next head and throw it back in the room, which we're seeing right here. So they've done that. Then you go to the left here and go down the stairs here. Now there's 2 gargoyle heads in the basement, so they're going to probably grab either one at a time or both at once if they can manage, and bring them upstairs. Looks like they're doing both at once. Yeah, I mean, I think the routing of this event has made it a bit more conducive to this strat, because it seems like I think they're getting a little bit fewer specials than the past, and a little bit fewer like heavy armor waves. So I think this means that you can rush the like objective pretty okay if you want to. I think when you put in a gargoyle head, you spawn in a waves. That's why they delayed putting in all the gargoyle heads until once. Like once at the end, so that they can kind of fight everything at once from a safe location. I think their idea is to kind of burst through here to get to that left room. There's like a good hold spot that's like halfway up the stairs, or maybe they'll just hold here as needed. Yeah, escape the crypt, so they can just basically walk out. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think this event has been toned down, which is good to see because honestly, like the original event is like pretty hard, so wouldn't get as many exciting clears. So they now have the like stairs to deal with, so they'll you have to kill these enemies while going up the stairs. And they're not out of the woods yet, but if they do make it through this monk wave and they do keep the specials down and they do kill some of the ads that might be waiting on the stairs, I think then fingers crossed they will, you know what, I'll say the opposite. They're gonna fail the map. Oh my god, they're never gonna make it.
If they just do all these really hard things, they'll be perfect. This is funny. If they do this and also kill all these guys and also defeat this horrible horde,
they're like 9 million miles away from the Waystone. You know, they're just totally dead.
That skeleton,
wow,
by the way,
what a
just hanging out
miracle!
there.
They make it to the end. Commentator's curse is like super real. Oh my gosh, they're defying the curse. Look at that.
Look at that.
Amazing.
Look at him go. Oh, that Blight Story picked a bad spot to jump in.
So, but yeah, I mean, up the stairs here, across the little field, as long as you don't go too slow, all good.
Here, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only way you can die here is if you go too slow. So, because the wave does spawn from the Waystone, and comes toward you, so it'll like try to trap you in, you know. And there's a boss or two, I guess.
Run, Witch Hunter, run! Oh, they pushed him in. Okay, that was good. Thank you, Chaos Spawn.
Oh my god, he's actually stuck. Oh, he got hit into the portal. Easy.
Just gave him they gave him a lift right there. Ah, you know what? Get out of here.
Yep. Calculated.
That's funny. Well, good ending for them, no doubt. They were working at that for a really long time, by the way. The entire time we've been watching everything else in all these different streams, they've kind of been battling ever since the mid-event along the cliffs and all that stuff. So I'm happy to see them get a success right there.
And really unfortunate here from Fun's team. If you look, DNF due to DCs again. Gosh, you really hate to see that.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
Curious why they're not asking for time back, because they can get time back if they have crashes.
Yeah, maybe someone should let them know that they can have some time back. I'm gonna stick here and shoutcast, but if someone wants to go poke them, I don't know.
If someone.
I'll do it. It's fine. I'll come down.
I guess I was like talking to like tournament organizers that were potentially watching this game.
I'm gonna go talk to him.
Okay.
Oh, is he running that? Just the one-handed axe, which I kind of love.
He is running the one-handed axe, so definitely a change up from the flail. One-handed axe on Zealot is definitely not a common choice on modded realm. I think unofficial, it's much more popular. And main reason is just that like there are much higher like damage output options, and one-handed axe is a very like single target focused weapon. But I guess I can't tell who their dead player is. Ironbreaker has wave control. I mean, if their dead player has a lot of wave control, then they might not need something like the flail. So I can understand if they like want to go with this choice. They do have a ton of resources. They have cleared the boss, so this is looking pretty chill, all things considered. I think they're like, yeah, I mean, they're basically done, right?
Yeah,
they just have to go up the lifting platform and move on to the map.
Well,
yeah, so it looks like the last one is a merc, so they got a lot of wave clear there. So I can see why they want to go with one-handed axe. That makes sense.
We'll leave them there for a second then, and we'll go check out, I believe this is Help. We need a team name again. And they're that's not the team name. It's just Help. We need a team name. We're watching them again, and we'll have them pop up here, and then we'll see where other people are going. A lot of our tier 3 teams seem to be, I don't want to say stuck, but kind of just grinding it out on Righteous Stand right now, for better or for worse. So I'm kind of trying to keep
Yeah,
an eye
makes
out
sense.
here. It does. I'm trying to keep an eye out here for mid events and things like that. Things that are kind of exciting and what have you. Is what we're aiming for across the board. Uh,
Yeah,
so
yeah. So, I mean, basically, okay, right now we're watching them hold a little area before first trigger um, on Old Hans here. Like once you open that door that's downstairs,
right.
you will trigger that trigger, and so it'll be a boss or a patrol, and I'm sure they have it down what they're going to do in each situation. If you get a boss, you can technically ledge it, but not a lot of teams actually go for that. It seems like most teams are electing for the kill, which makes sense because the ledge is a little bit unsafe, a little bit risky bisky, you could say. Um, so
You could say that.
Also, it seems like they're not actually routing through the door, or they've already hit the door, got a patrol, and then routed back. I can't quite tell where they're at, but it's probably one of those two things. It looks like two people are down, which is unfortunate. Getting people down in this area of Old Haunts means that they generally spawn very far away,
Mhm.
because remember, this map was created with official round in mind. You
Right.
normally just walk through this area. You have maybe one horde, maybe, and you can always push enemies out of the way if you need to. But modded players, I mean, it's like a whole, you know, it's a whole adventure to even get to the church. So when a player goes down, they actually spawn much farther away than you'd like. So looks like they are going to get players up near the church though,
Yeah.
which is good. Now if anyone goes down and they haven't started the event yet, they will always spawn inside the church on the right. So they can have players go down here, and potentially, if someone is on down and they finish these waves, they might purposely kill them to get a heal, basically. Like so that they'll spawn in the event, they'll res them, and then they basically don't have to use a med kit or something like that. Um, Once you enter the church, though, you can't get out of it with legal parkour. Battle Wizard might be able
Legal
to play some
parkour.
shenanigans. Yeah, but that is definitely against tourney rules.
Yeah.
Uh, Looks like they still have people outside, though. I think they're gonna end up doing what I talked about, where someone's gonna die outside, they're gonna spawn inside here. The only thing is they had a med kit, which now they basically lose. I mean, they will have it after they complete this event. Like it's still going to be outside there wherever they drop the medkit. But yeah, you can see the spawns are right here. So they're going to clear up these waves, get the reses, kind of control things, and then we'll see if they're going to rush outside or hold inside the church. It looks like teams are electing to hold inside the church a lot more often these days, which if you don't have a boss makes a lot of sense. Is I think one of the main reasons you don't want to hold inside the church before was the boss. So but yeah, should be pretty chill, I guess. And I think they're cleaning up just nicely here. Couple gun rats in the doorway,
Yeah, they
but
seem to have done a pretty good job, honestly, of just clearing this out.
yeah, they're gonna get this res and probably start the event pretty soon because they definitely want to
I'm gonna give them
not hang out too long or they'll get more waves. So
I want to give a chance for us to see how they handle this event because I do think this one is particularly challenging for a lot of our teams here today, obviously, who are on the tier 4 difficulty, and then so on and so forth. By the way, I just want to give a chance to read out all the teams that we were supposed to have on stream today, or maybe they didn't get on stream for whatever reason, and you guys obviously could jump in and tell me if I've missed anyone here, just so everybody gets their name on the stream, and thanks for participating. So we've got Ave Sigmar, In Good Faith, Not Abuser, the Southland Shakers, the Beauties, Warpstone Stiffers, What's a Trigger, Feeling Sleepy, Help, We Need a Team Name, No Monks, Just Apes, the Festering Five, Winging It, and then Zoan. And I think obviously there were some teams in the Chinese region as well, or the Asia region, who are playing yesterday, or maybe tonight, or last night, I'm sorry, who got in there as well. But just want to give everybody their credit here for participating. Thanks all of you, and I hope you enjoyed it so far.
Yeah, because the Vermintide has a strong Chinese community. They have to play at a different time, but and they also have their own way of communicating. So we don't necessarily have them on the stream right now, but we wish we could have them more easily on the stream. course. And I think if I heard correctly, Mina's team one-shot everything and then two-shot Grudge on the
Wow.
highest tier. So that's a pretty impressive run. I mean, Knowlesy can confirm that for me. He is my insider info. So, but yeah, I think they had a pretty good run. So it'll be nice to
It's
see.
a really good one. I think they DNF'd Fort though.
Oh,
They DNF'd
unfortunate.
Fort. I'm
Yeah.
shocked. Oh wow. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, because
In the
team of
second
that
Okay.
round, but
caliber,
most
like
of that
Fort,
they were it's
really
it was
easier map.
really clean, yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, because like Ford is definitely the easiest map of the bunch. So it's you hate to see it. Even the easier maps, they have these difficulty spikes that are tough. And Vermintide. I mean, that's the game, right? Is that like things are fine until they're suddenly not. So
Yeah, so I have his scores here. He posted it. Map 1 did not finish. Map 2 first attempt. Map 3 did not finish. Map 4 second attempt.
interesting. Okay, yeah. Then my don't listen to me. Listen to Exit. Looks like they're
Calculations rank,
gonna.
right?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to clear that first wave again. We've seen the Battle Wizards doing this. I think it's just because there's a lot of disablers and monks there, and they just want to like quickly get that wave out of the way. And also, when you leave the church, you do stop the infinite spawns. So I think just stepping out of the church, even for a second, and coming back is kind of important. And then they're going to be fighting all these waves in the basement here, cleaning up. So
Uh-oh. Of all the places to get caught
gas
by
in this
that.
room is
Yeah.
never
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
Of all the things that
Oh
could
my
happen to
God.
you down here.
That
Oh
was
my.
so close. They almost got overheaded.
Well, I don't want to say that I can tell you things from the future, but they might get
There it
overheaded.
Oh,
They might
no.
not survive that. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, this is a tough one for Waste Doctor. I
Just
don't
elf
think.
left. Oh no.
Oh,
No.
overwhelmed. Honestly, it's a pretty solid effort from them,
It
but
was.
Yeah, I mean it's a sound strat. Just unfortunate that they couldn't quite get it to work. I mean, it's a lot of armor to deal with.
This
So
is Haname's team going to do Righteous. I mean, they've been cruising through a lot of stuff, so
yes.
I have a feeling they'll probably cruise through this because this is a pretty well tried and true event. So
yeah,
but again, hopefully I don't curse them. Maybe the curse is just luck.
No. I think they've got this in hand.
Oh, there it is. It's
yeah. Now we can blame Korvik, not me.
No, not
Notably.
me. Don't bring me into this. I just push buttons at the moment. Come on. We'll see.
I
I'm
mean, they
trying.
have a. Oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead. No. Finish out. You know what you're talking about. I don't.
That's not true.
I've never played. I have never
anyways.
played a sin. Despite doing these and enjoying watching these and participating and I love this community. You guys are great. I have never played a single game of modded difficulties. So.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
We're
Fair
putting
enough.
you in a different thing, and we'll call it Team Shoutcaster. It'll
Team
be
Shoutcaster,
Ishta, you,
yeah.
me, and Long. Okay, maybe
Oh
you
boy.
can. Like,
Yeah, it can't
and we will
consult.
just drag you through Onslaught. Like,
Yep.
I mean,
We'll
that's
make
how
it.
everyone learns Onslaught for the most part. The first
Yeah.
time I started playing higher difficulties, I played with Core's group, and they just like I died constantly, and they just face dragged me through Righteous Stand.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That entire run.
I mean, because good group. They that fourth player is like basically you really just need a core of 3, right, to like really hold well in a lot of these events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the fourth player can have more of a variable role. Not necessarily saying that the fourth player can be worse, but if they're playing on a difficulty below what they're used to, then they can, like just sort of drag you through a map like that. But yeah, it looks like they're starting the event here. They're doing the opposite kite, so there looks like they're going counterclockwise instead of clockwise, which there are reasons to do this. I think I don't think one is really better than the other. You just have to understand how the kite can break, going one way or the other, which I'm sure they do. So,
Clockwise
um,
sets you up in a better way for certain waves, smaller waves, storm vermin waves.
right.
Um,
And then counterclockwise is like a little bit easier to like clear, like push through tight gaps or something like that. I'm not a counterclockwise
Oh,
runner
Lord.
myself, so I don't remember the
so that's what
details.
I usually do. I usually go, yeah, I usually go counterclockwise. Um,
Yeah. I think it's because that little like jut out there, the like bench or whatever that's blocking some of the main path. The enemies can't route through that. So you have like a 1 second more time if for some reason enemies start clumping up to like go quickly and get through there. And it probably takes you, half a second more time to route that way. So you gain like half a second in the kite, which at this level matters. So, I mean, I think that's probably the benefit of counterclockwise, but um, yeah.
I
So I
don't
guess like you
know.
can see here, they're like routing around. Like they round up on the stairs and drop down. You get like a tiny bit more time, I think.
So with those stairs, I don't know if they fixed it, but if you dodge in a specific spot, you will just fall under the map. So
Oh no.
Oh, I don't think they fixed that.
Oh
okay, so this
no.
is
I
this is
think I've seen that
it's very
happen
rare, but
relatively
it
recently.
happened.
It's just Russian roulette with that one spot. Okay. Yikes.
Yeah,
Is
of
a
course, it
like
wouldn't
I
be
was
your
doing
fault if it
true
happened.
duo, and I completely abandoned my partner by falling into that. Yeah, it's like this stair right here that they just went over. If you dodge into it, you dodge into the plane and just drop.
Wild.
Tragic.
There are
I think
two
it's very
monsters?
unlikely here they're going to kill the boss, to be honest.
Yeah.
This event you can exhaust. So technically, you
Right.
don't have to kill a single enemy. If you just kite forever, you will eventually end the event. The benefit of killing enemies is that the event ends faster. So the event ending
Oh.
faster means you have more time for the rest of the tournament. It also means that you have less time to potentially make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, teams that like are really struggling, should probably just play it longer and just kite more. Teams that are more comfy are going to be killing more stuff and progressing faster. So I think they're kind of doing a balance here, right? Clearly, they're not bursting down the bosses. They're not like bursting down the waves either, but or I guess they are a little bit popping the strength here. But they also are like killing enough such that the event's not going to last forever.
Where's
Um,
Chains?
sorry.
They're around.
Where's the? Oh, there she is. Okay.
Yeah, they're around.
She was. I
Yeah,
didn't see her for a second. I'm like, where was the Unchained? Okay.
I think they got stuck a
Now
little
they're
bit
in
on one of
trouble
the
though.
rounds of the kite and then met up with them or something. Um,
I mean,
although
right
my
now
eyes
it
could be
seems they
deceiving me.
have. Well, okay, the Unchained looks like she went
Yeah, a
down in the
little bit of trouble.
gas. But other than that, this looks overall well controlled.
Yeah, and they have
Compared
that
to what I've
handmaiden
seen
as
in previous
well.
situations, are
So
pretty clean right now.
yeah, I mean, like handmaiden ID, like could probably duo this event. You know, um, handmaiden could probably solo it. I mean, like I think they've got like lots of levels of insurance here. I mean, I think GK could die and it would still be okay, but obviously he wants to stay alive for that extra security and extra source of
Yeah.
strength. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think the fact that you don't really have to kill anything like massively reduces the difficulty of the event. Once you know that, looks like he might have cut off his teammates slightly there, but as long as one person makes it, that's all you need. The statue's not glowing yet though, so I don't think they're like
I don't think they've killed
too
enough
close.
yet.
Yeah, I don't think they've killed enough slash stayed in the event long enough. Um, One thing that's nice about these kites is even though people spawn in the back, and that's definitely one of the most dangerous places in the event to go, if you time it with the wave, like someone goes with the wave around the statue while like someone else goes to get a res, um, then like generally you can get the res without too much on you. This is a not a great place to be. I mean, you can parkour out of it, which they are parkouring out of it, but like you want to avoid going there if you can. I think it's just that they have a lot of specials up right now, so it's a little
Yeah,
bit
I think
chaotic. But
what I saw when he went for the res, the troll was on him, and then I think the handmaiden was trying to get aggro so he could squeeze by.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So
It looks like the handmaiden got the res though. I think
It does
or-
look that way. Yeah.
Was it a res?
Yeah, a bit rough with the two bosses, but like you said, I guess it's just a matter of literally what it says, right? Survive, so and get as many kills as you can.
Look, surviving is the #1 strat.
It is.
100% success rate. If you fail it though, like the strat is not die. It works every time if you execute it perfectly.
Staying alive is always the hardest thing to do. In most every game, honestly, Vermintide is no exception. We'll see in a minute here because some of our T3 teams have also reached essentially this area. I have the Southland Shakers, the Beauties are nearly there as well. So when this is done, assuming everything continues to go relatively well for the Festering 5, we'll go take a look at maybe the Southland Shakers. Waiting for one of our Tier 3 teams, honestly, to complete Righteous Stand so that we can see a Quiet Drink. Because none of them have quite made it yet, and nobody's abandoned. Yeah, I'm ready for it too. I'd really like to see it. We've just got about 35 minutes left, technically, in regulation time. Let's say. So I really want to see somebody do that. But it looks like they've actually made it. Am I correct? Yeah. There you go. There's the gate.
Yep.
All right. Well done. So let's see. Yeah, if they all got killed by the troll right there, that would have been quite funny. But let's go ahead and see. Speaking of trolls, Southland Shakers here, they are also dealing with a bile troll in the Righteous Stand end event, and unfortunately, they also had one of their players go down here. So equally, maybe, or a similarly rough situation to what we saw in the mid area for the Festering 5, or the middle part of this, I should say, end event.
Captain Obed says there's a team on Grudge served called mid-event.
All right, good to know.
Yikes! I think Salts is dead.
He is.
That blight there on the side is just cutting off his kite route, so he's not in a good spot.
Grudge served cold mid event. Let me see if I've got anyone in here. I'm trying. Is this the Grudge served cold mid event?
The Grudge served cold mid event is like a giant open area. With some gates.
Don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna look
Okay, no worries.
This is the only team that
this
is the only
this
team that
looks
I can
like
see
it.
that's on Grudge served cold, I believe.
This is the stairs by the side of the event.
have another push.
So basically, the
wanna open
event
the
is
loop.
where it's like this big open
Yeah,
area
we can
here
take a
that
break.
we're about to walk up to, and like
This
if you
event
need
can
to.
take a bit, yeah.
Oh,
but
we'll pull
this
him up.
event, if
We'll
you
give him a
need
shot.
to, you have to like drop down and like kite around the route that they were doing. So like if something goes wrong, you drop down and you
Wanna
kite
open
where
it?
you were. So I think something went wrong, which
I'm
makes
gonna stand
sense.
by
Because
the other
someone needs to be freed.
tower.
Either that, or they haven't started the event yet. Yeah, it says actually get past the gate, so I don't think they've started it.
I don't think they started it, no, because
Yeah.
Well, glad we could
So,
join in just in
I
time.
think so. I think what they're likely to do here.
Drop down spot, and it looks like he got poked while he was gonna drop down.
Oh, I see. I guess things like teleported to a later time or something. Because I was about to explain the event, and then I see like 2 people dead.
They did. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was trying to get a better.
No, it's okay.
I wish that I could take the time on stream to explain the kind of arcane stuff that we have to do, or I have to do to try and make it that the feeds are not pixelated. But one of them is teleportation and time travel. So I apologize right there. Unfortunately,
All good.
unfortunate is also the word that we could use to describe the Ironbreakers' valiant last stand right now.
This is not a great position to be in. I think they can get out, but they have to like. Do they have Trollhammer ammo? They have a shot loaded. They need to shoot a Trollhammer.
No.
Space for it.
No. Unfortunately.
So I think they need to shoot a Trollhammer shot and like jump up on the side. But they can't quite do it. They probably hit really low stam at that time. Just unfortunate. With that event, normally where teams hold is this really sneaky spot. So it's like if you enter the event normally and then keep going to the right and to the back, there's this like little ledge that is near some chains. And if you walk really far back, then everything has to route on that ledge to you, and it's like a nice funnel. And then you can ledge monsters on the chain. So if you knock them onto the lower area, they're not ledged. They will climb back up. Like they'll take the very long route to get back up, but they will climb back up. If you get them on the chain, then they will actually like nav mesh fail and they will die. And so, like, I know on Linesman that's the preferred strat. I think on Dutch, I imagine people would do a similar thing. Looks like here they're doing pretty okay on Righteous Stand, holding a bit more than we would expect. So I'm guessing someone got a little stuck or something like that. But it looks like they've recovered, and they're not kiting very quickly. And also, I'm not sure they're using the steps. Looks like they're just going straight around the statue, which is not a common strat, but is a strat for sure.
Enough to really worry about to do big kites at the moment.
Yeah, although we say that, and then the Waystalker gets assassinated out of nowhere, of course. And the remaining 3 are going to be on it. Did they kill the bosses already?
Back there. I don't know. Well,
I think
maybe they did.
have.
Either that or
they
haven't
have
killed
bosses by now.
the other. So
Yeah. I'm thinking they've killed the bosses here, and they're just making their way.
They were fighting a boss before I transitioned over to them, so I'm assuming they killed it. Yeah, but there is another boss that I think they're gonna have to deal with, just from the future.
No, there's a boss right there.
Yeah, that's a new. It was a bile troll, I think, initially, and now they've
right, because I think there's a total of 2. Right, you get 1 at the beginning, and then you get 1 partway through.
Also, I love the fact that they have a team graphic. I just want to throw that out there. We should acknowledge. I love their little the beauty's watermark.
Well done. Some of the graphic design skills.
Is that word art? I love that.
Graphic design is their passion.
I wish I could enlarge it. It looks great. They've got like screenshots and outlines and depth of field and everything.
Yeah, can you comment as a professional designer, Exit?
I mean, I like it.
There you go.
Excellent. They got the seal of approval.
Let's see here.
So it would be interesting to see this kite this team get back together and then just abuse that Storm Fiend and just have the Storm Fiend set everything on fire.
They must be getting close.
Well, the Storm Fiend is setting everything on fire, including the elf. And looks like the elf is now eating it down.
Setting the teammates on fire, but it would be really nice to use that to your advantage. I just find Storm Fiends very chill. Like they're not.
So I agree, except yesterday we were watching Forsaken Temple where they have to go through the riverbed and it's all the canyony bit. And there was a Storm Fiend that was just stalking this one team for I think 5 minutes, and they would turn around and shoot him. He would jump up onto the top of the little rock plateaus.
Yeah.
It was like guerrilla warfare with this thing. It was really painful to watch. Yeah, it's the only time I've seen a Storm Fiend be that effective, to be fair.
Yeah, they have strange pathing, and sometimes they're like, I'll go up here. No, I'm down. No, I'll go up here. And you're just like, okay, just let us know when you're ready. Looks like they finished it.
They did.
Yeah, I think that's a fairly clean execution.
That's a win.
So we have the Southland Shakers who just completed this Righteous Stand as well. They are on a quiet drink, so let's go ahead and pull them up really quick as well. Yeah.
So, the thing about this map is the terrain on it it's rough. It's rough. There's all these little cracks and crevices and ledges and verticality, and it's one of the rougher terrain maps, I feel. And it's also one of these ones that unless you're playing it regularly and modded, it's one of those maps that you just generally don't practice that much or play that much. So it's interesting.
I played it once. I literally played it one time.
It's a map that not a lot of people have played on modded, I think. And at least I think they're probably playing with a mod that makes it so they don't actually have to drink the alcohol, because I imagine that would just make it.
I don't remember what it's called. Let's just call it the sober mod. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah,
I like that exists, just because as someone who suffers from motion sickness, that drunk effect is.
Oh yeah, that's why I've only played this once.
Yeah, also just because playing modded with the drunk effect is like
being drunk, but it's painful.
Yeah, that would be so hard. But yeah, actually, Grudge serve cold, right? They have that like outdoor hold spot. You know what I'm saying? That's like before they drop down into the tunnels. And I think that spot, if I remember correctly, gets like a crap ton of spawns. You know, it's like I think it's an event actually. So I remember that being a difficulty spike for sure partway through. And then
Yeah.
toward the end as well, like the very end event, you get bosses in like a super tight corridor and you
Yeah.
basically either have to burst it or be able to squeeze through.
Yeah, and the mid event's gonna have a lot of stuff in it, and but also if you look at the area they were just in, and they're gonna drop down into the next area. If you look at it, Worm normally has like visibility in most maps, and like you can generally kind of tell where things are coming from. But because the terrain here, I feel, is so varied, it's a little bit more difficult to figure out where things are going to come from, particularly because the terrain itself is quite uneven. So you've got this space where they can just all come at you and not the best sight lines.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably true. Because there's so many like routing spots here, right? Like,
Yeah.
I imagine the director is spawning them like outside of these fences, and
Yes.
there's so many like little fences and stuff they can just climb over. They can come over the roof. They can
Yeah.
climb up from below. So yeah, I mean, the odds of getting surrounded are probably high on this map.
They
Um,
seem to be cleaning it up okay.
yeah, and of course they do have that foot knight for a little bit of like wave stability if things go wrong.
Yeah.
So that'll help for sure.
I keep forgetting he's a foot knight because he's wearing that hat. Like,
I
oh,
mean,
wait a minute.
Fashion
Yeah, that's
Tide
right.
is just as
Fashion
important,
Tide,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
It does confuse me, though. I won't lie. So, bomb out. Oh, they're using resources here as well. Okay. I feel like this is a rough spot for the engineer to be in too. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm being unfair to that class, but this does seem like a fight that the engineer would not be particularly happy to be in.
I mean, NG is, I think, both buffed and nerfed unmodded. Like, because it had a lot of like quality of life oriented buffs before NG got like a natural buff from Fat Shark that was like an insane buff when we started seeing a lot of bomb NG. And I think basically
Really quick,
then
hold on.
unmodded they removed the bomb spam or made it much more difficult.
I just want to put the full graphic on screen. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh my gosh. Juicy John the man, Nylander the somebody, identified the new guy. And then I can't read the elf's tag, but in flower, cringe.
There's the somebody, I think.
They made it big.
Flower
I couldn't
probably made
resist.
this.
That was very
Flower
funny.
probably made this, so it's absolutely glorious.
Love to see it.
So one of the things here is you can get a boss trigger here, and a lot of not all the time, but sometimes you wind up pushed back to where that cart is, and that's just a terrible idea. It doesn't look like they have a trigger here, but sometimes it happens.
Well, I think they can get a trigger in the next area too, so
Yeah.
they're not quite out of the woods yet. But certainly they're coming up on that top event, right?
Yeah, well, the mid event is just up ahead. Going down into that like broken house before you go into the broken bar is, I don't know, but I'm always scared of a boss landing there. It's just terrifying.
Yeah. You know, one thing that would be cool for future tournaments, this is kind of off topic, but I just kind of thought of it, is like, what if we totaled the total number of rats that died in every single run, and at the end of the tournament, we listed the number of rats that were slain for the sake of the charity?
That, though? Good lord.
Oh, well,
I mean, you just
would
look at
not
every
like
score
that
screen and
because,
add
like,
it to a spreadsheet, right?
when I spoke to them, they were like, I was like, can you come on stream for an interview? And they were like, we don't like that your game's about killing rats.
You know what? Fair. That's a fair opinion to have.
Bring on for an interview?
Evil mutant rats?
They're not rats, they're rat men. There's a key difference. Rat
Good.
I'm like, okay, you're getting our money anyway, but okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry you hate us here.
It's
love
weird
you.
because, like, yeah, we're killing the rats, but like, I mean, we have a love for the rats. I guess it's a vibe that's
Somebody
hard
made
to
a
explain.
whole
I mean,
class
I
for the
understand.
game that's a
Someone from the
rat.
outside, they would not necessarily understand, but
What was his name? What's his name? The rat like modded class, the Skaven mod. I can't remember.
Costume.
Pussfume. That's it. Yeah, we love
yeah.
rats. I'm obsessed with Scarrick. I think he's great. He
All right, so
perseveres.
once they clear this wave, they'll probably start the event, and this is where things kind of get really juicy.
Yeah, the event does not have
Well,
fantastic.
there's that
gold
boss
spawn.
spawn that you were talking about, by the way.
Very unforgiving. It's yeah,
Yeah,
there's the boss. We hate
there it
getting
is.
bosses here.
You can ledge it, I think,
We
but they
ledged
did
it.
not
Yeah,
successfully ledge it.
it's just kind of a messy place. So,
Um,
oh, he
so
had a perfect opportunity to ledge, and it just got blasted a little bit. So yeah, this
oh,
is
it's unfortunate.
where things get a little bit scary
Things are
here.
about to get dicey. They're
Yeah.
about to get dicey. We're gonna see a bomb thrown pretty soon, I think.
Common white spot.
Yeah.
It's where you can hold, because this is also where the event would be. It is the where you can hold is just limited, very limited.
They are all
And you
alive
don't
right
go
now,
flying off
though,
the map.
so that's a plus for them. And I think they've actually cleared most of the major waves. So,
Yeah, be okay.
although one thing to note about this event is that chaos spawn hits you with like a nasty angle that you block, and you just get sent off the cliff.
Yep, I
Like
was
a
just
lot of
thinking
these
that,
cliffs
yeah.
Go flying.
are not actually cliffs you hang from, or if they are, it's very hard to get you up. So, Elf going down there, we see this is a really scary place to be for that Salt
Yikes,
Spire.
yikes,
Like getting
yikes,
knocked
yikes.
off the cliff there is a very real possibility.
So going through the house with these
No.
bosses can be kind of risky.
Yeah.
The leech! Oh god.
Oh, he tried to ledge it and he just couldn't quite get it. That's so unfortunate.
Close.
That's okay. I mean, it's almost dead, so I think.
Don't
if they
say anything,
go-
Locke.
You know what? You're right. I'm gonna hold my breath.
They got it. They're gonna get
Very
it.
tense
They'll
moment
get it.
here.
See? All right, so they. I think they're
Oh
gonna be
no.
all like healed up. So okay, they're gonna do a ritual sacrifice there
The
and
hard
bring
reset.
her up before the
Oh.
event starts, and then they get to hold it all over again. So don't think there's a boss. I think it's just a lot of stuff, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So actually, that might have been the natural trigger.
I think it was an actual trigger. Yes. They
Yeah,
haven't started
maybe they
the
didn't
event
even
yet,
do the
so-
event yet. Yeah, because they have to
No,
enter.
they haven't done the event. That wasn't the event. That was just the
We're
trigger.
stressing out this much, and we haven't even gotten to the real event. So, yeah, they'll be opening the doors soon. And if I remember correctly, does the blight have fixed? Sorry, does the event have fixed Blightstormer spawns, or do Blightstormers just extra suck in this area? I don't know.
I don't know, to be honest. I just know that I generally die in this event. So,
Gotcha. Well,
so let's see. They're gonna start it.
all heroes must be present. There we go. Someone probably hit
Okay,
it.
so I would usually hold here, but they're probably gonna start kiting around.
Yep. So they definitely started it because it no longer says enter the tavern.
Yeah.
Starting here is pretty reasonable, although again, everywhere is sketchy in this
Yeah.
event.
There's no. It's just survive, basically.
And this is actually the same like miniature house model or a similar one as the one on the pit in that like second
really?
main hold of the map. Yeah, it's the same room if you think about it. It just has like the other one has like some extra stuff on the floor. So, like akin to that other house, you can get hit through the wall on the left. So,
Interesting. I had no idea.
yeah.
All right,
So
here comes stuff.
let's see. Looks like big waves are coming
They're
in.
like, oh, there's a troll. I thought it was a troll. Maybe I'm wrong.
There's definitely something over there.
I
Maybe
thought I
it's
saw a
a
troll, but I think it was
Blightstormer.
just a storm vermin.
Yeah, okay. Looks like they're cleaning up the waves pretty okay.
Yeah, this looks. They're making it look pretty chill.
Yeah.
Usually it's like a ton of waves of Chaos Warriors and stuff.
Well, that might come later.
This isn't bad. This is actually they're doing really good.
Yeah, I think there's like Chaos Warriors and potentially a boss. But I think it's just Chaos Warriors at some point. And that's like the main difficulty spike of the event. Because they don't necessarily have a great
That was
comp
clean.
for...
That was done.
Oh,
I didn't see any Chaos Warriors. I'm kind of
yeah, me
surprised.
too. I'm like, like, I thought there were Chaos Warriors.
Usually there are.
Yeah, all right, well, fair enough. Looks like they will... The Skaven are like, you're not making it through without a down today. um, so they at least get some of what they want. But yeah, so now they'll be going to the underground tunnels, and then pretty soon is like the first area where they actually get drunk. But of course, sober.
Drinking, yeah. It's
Yeah.
sparkling water. It's sparkling cider is what it is.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the map is pretty chill for the next foreseeable future. I think the next main difficulty spike is that end event, as far as I remember.
Mid event and then end event.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
We'll keep an eye
Wait,
on
no,
it
you're
then.
right. Yeah, the end event. I don't know why I thought the end event was at the middle. Yes, you're
We'll
right. The
keep
end
an
event.
eye on it then, and we'll take a look at some of our other teams here. I'm waiting for one of our squads to reach the mid event for a Grudge served cold, or whatever that one is called. I think it's Grudge served cold. Let's see what else we have going on here. Warpstone Sniffers, they're on this area as well, so they're working their way over to the tavern. The Beauties, I think, are in a similar position too of fighting their way through this portion. So we'll give them each a look here in turn, but we'll start with the Warpstone Sniffers, who have had a bit of a rough day based on that scorecard there in the top corner.
Unfortunate, but maybe we'll see a win here on Drink, and that would be cool. And we're seeing Holy Great Hammer now on Zealot, so Flem really showing off the full array of Zealot weapon options.
the kit.
Yeah, so Holy Great Hammer is a pretty weird weapon, and I think a lot of people play it on Warrior Priest because you have fewer weapon options. But on Zealot, on Warrior Priest, the side attacks that he's doing, like the heavy one and the following lights, are generally not very good because you have Flail and Shield that you would prefer to clear waves and cause stagger. Most of the time in Warrior Priest, you're using the two light attacks that go up and down into heavy 3, because heavy 3 is where all the armor damage is. But on Zealot, you actually kind of flip that around a bit. You're actually often using these like wide swings because they're better into hordes, and you don't have like a flail and shield on demand for that. Looks like a really tough situation though. So it suddenly got quite bad. The gunner is the problem, and the gunner will take him down. Unfortunate, hate to see it. So it looks like now we're back to the Festering 5 on Grudge Serve Colt. So
they're at the gate, so I think they're close to it.
Yeah, so we see the get past the gate there. So I don't think they've started.
I do not believe that they've started.
They have not started the event. I don't think that gate is open. So what we will see is what I was trying to describe earlier, which is that they'll be going to the back corner of the event near the chains. At least I think, unless we see a new strat today, which we totally could. And this area is like, it's one of the most open areas in the game. It's actually even more open than a lot of the like areas on Grain that you actually hold and don't just walk through. And the special angles are brutal. Like if you actually held out in the open here, your special sniper would have a horrible time. So it looks like they are opting for at least part of a pretty meta comp here. They have the Warrior Priest Unchained duo, which is like a very, very strong duo. The way that duo works is that you bubble Unchained, and Unchained can explode a few times, giving Bomb temp HP to their team. So it's like basically you get like double Merc Shout whenever you want. And also Warrior Priest, super survivable, insane frontline, also insane damage. If you don't play a lot of modded, one thing you might not be aware of is that Warrior Priest Bubble has like basically infinite cleave. And so on official realm, it doesn't do that much damage. But on modded realm, when you have a lot of enemies in one location, that bubble is cleaving like basically everything on screen, and it also knocks things back a bit. So actually, Warrior Priest is a huge damage dealer in modded for that reason, and it's often because of the bubble pops. So that's probably why they can afford to take both the Foot Knight and the Sister here, which are both much lower DPS careers, just because they have insane DPS between Beam Unchained and Warrior Priest Bubbles that they really won't need quite as much. Oh, this is Pyro. This is Pyro. I'm cooked.
Yes.
I thought this was Unchained. I'm so sorry. Yeah, this is Pyro. I saw the Pyro ult and immediately. Sorry. I think I just I don't know, something about the skin. I just thought that was an
It
Unchained.
can be a little confusing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just mentally cooked. No, sorry. This is a Pyro. I mean, okay, so less temp health than the version I was describing, but more damage. Basically, is the translation. They just have a lot more damage with Pyro. They also have bubble on Pyro if they ever need. So they can like bubble Pyro. Pyro sits in a corner and just spams beam shotgun, and it will literally kill everything on screen. So, yep, looks like they are going to the corner I was talking about. They're trying to clear some of the little guys out of the way so that they can actually back up into here. This is one of the safest places to hold on the event because the special angles are better. When you step out in front there, the special angles are worse because you can get the blights on the far ridge and stuff like that. And the nice thing about Foot Knight here is that if you want to create more space for yourself, you just charge and the enemies will fall into the lower platform area. They won't die, but they will take a very long time to come back. Like they have to go all the way around through the normal progression of the map. And also, worst case, if you really get overwhelmed there, you can drop down, but it's a slightly tricky drop. Like if you screw it up, you will take too much fall damage and die.
All right.
So, but if you do it correctly, you'll take only a little bit of fall damage, and you'll be able to like route back through the map normally again. So, this is definitely like the best place to hold the event. Being out in the open like this though is a little bit nerve wracking because you can get a little bit of stuff behind like that, and you could also they could be getting like long range blights and stuff right now, but they're kind of not. So it's okay.
It's I can totally see what you mean. It does feel a little bit vulnerable. I mean, it does seem like a very good hold, but it does seem very vulnerable. Also very funny to see the elf just hanging out on that chain, which is I feel like a very elf thing to do, honestly. Impeccable balance.
Well, so the enemies actually can't route onto that chain, so the elf is perfectly safe.
I figured. I just liked it thematically because if anyone was gonna walk along an icy chain and not fall off, it would naturally be.
I don't know for sure, but that might not be an entirely legal spot to stand.
Well, it's on film now. That's the problem.
Whoopsie.
And we brought attention to it. Even worse.
There, but I don't think they can. I don't know for sure.
Drama.
Were they standing somewhere they weren't supposed to be?
I don't know. I think it's a cheese spot, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to say with confidence.
But
whatever.
I will check the VOD real quick.
They lost waste, unfortunately, here. That is a bit of a problem. They kind of pushed out and then had to run back.
Yeah, so I think if you are going to hold this spot, you don't actually want to push out that much. It's like your instinct when you've cleared a wave to push out, but you make the hold a little bit more volatile when you do. So they did lose waste, but the spawn should be pretty chill. I'm pretty sure spawn's right there if you hold back enough. Yep. Nice. Oh, I see. I thought that like helmet was Unchained's helmet. That's why I thought it was Unchained.
Yeah.
I just mentally cooked. But
it's been almost 3 hours here. We've been chit-chatting, so.
But yeah, I mean they're definitely near the end of their runs here. Looks like that they are handling the waves pretty good. They will have to like stay here a little bit longer and kill everything, and then when they open the gate, there's a couple different options. What I kind of expect them to do is to go forward and back and like test the trigger. I don't know what their first trigger was. If they had a boss trigger first, then it's a little bit more chill. They'll still have to test the trigger, but they don't have to be quite as scared. I think the really scary thing is like getting like fast boss or something near the lake, but you haven't quite made it all the way through to the lake yet, and you like can't quite push forward.
I think they're fine. I just looked at the VOD. It looks like they can still be hit. They're just funneling them in here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Unless I missed something.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, I know there's no nav mesh on that chain, for sure, because bosses die if you put them on the chain. So I assume that if there's no nav mesh, maybe the enemies
Yeah, I
can't nav
think
you.
I saw the Sister of the Thorn on the chain, but like
Yeah, she
the
was on the
enemies,
chain.
she's not being hit by the enemies anyway because she's too far away.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but like whatever. I'm not trying to like,
I'm not sure.
He's
I'm not trying to cause a stir. I was
He's
just commenting what I saw.
manipulating
That's all.
the results. He's causing a scandal. Oh no. Yeah, no, I just want to say, so I was looking at some of our other teams. So Southland Shakers, who were near, I think, very close to the obese Megalodon there on A Quiet Drink. Unfortunately, they did crash out, so they have to start over again. We also have the Beauties, who are making a decent amount of progress on that map, I think, and we'll keep an eye on them. Warpstone Sniffers, they have not yet reached the Hungry Troll Tavern on their run. What's the trigger? They're still doing Righteous Stand. They're coming up to the Righteous Stand end event. Help, we need a team, which is in tier 4. They're on Righteous Stand as well. So of our teams here in tier 4, Festering 5, I believe, have come the farthest without skipping a map. And then in our teams in tier 3, it looks like it might be Beauties who have gone the farthest on A Quiet Drink so far. So, or in terms of staying alive and going far on A Quiet Drink. So we'll check in with both of them here. But for the moment, I think we'll just see how this mid event plays out. I'm a little confused at the moment, actually, and maybe you can explain like why everything is just all of a sudden so quiet and calm.
Yeah, because they've mostly exhausted the event.
So what, do they just
won't
wait
spawn
for the
more.
opening?
Well, no, they're purposely killing their teammates right now to get free help, like heals.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like that's why
sense.
Haname just died, and now they're trying to kill Waste, but Waste is like warrior priest, so they're super tanky, and it's actually hard to kill them.
In terms of waiting for a reset, then let's go check in with some of our other teams here and see where they're at. So we'll pop over to the Beauties for a second. It is probably going to be a little less than beautiful here when we switch, but we will switch to the Beauties for a second and see where they are on A Quiet Drink. I think they've gone a fair ways. Again, I don't really know the map that well.
They're a little more than halfway,
There
I
we
think.
go.
So they will they'll drop down into this. It looks like there'll be like a well and kind of like this drinking area, and then there's stairs which go up into this courtyard area, which can be a little bit nasty depending on what's there. I think there's a boss trigger there, or a patrol, and then from there they can go into the end event.
Okay, makes sense.
Yep, this is a relatively cozy hold for this area here. So
Oh, my bad.
I
Sorry.
expect
There's a
them to-
Twitch commercial going on the other channel. Anyway, it wasn't for San Diego that time. I've seen that San Diego commercial about 7 or 8 times today. But anyway, here we go. All should be good now.
Yeah, so this is a chill spot. Pretty easy to play this spot for sure. And then after that, they will be going on to some of the other pre-event areas. They're pretty close to the event overall, I think, like Exen was saying. So maybe we'll be able to see event gameplay soon.
Hopefully, yeah. I'd love to see the end event for this. I'd love to see the end event for a Grudge Serve Cold as well. We are kind of reaching the end of our time. I think official time, right? It's nearly top of the hour. So
Yep,
most of
Yeah,
the
so I think basically the runs that are currently happening can finish, but pretty much almost no one can start a new run right now.
Yes.
So
plus we get Waystalker
see.
or not Waystalker. We get a Handmaiden Glaive gameplay on this, so that's wild. Love to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Flower's on the Handmaiden, and Flower she likes playing Glaive Handmaiden. I think it's just one of her favorites. Yeah, so
Hello Maiden, they call it.
I love the Glaive. I think it's so cool. Like visually, I don't know why. I just think it looks super cool.
It's just very fluid, I feel
yeah,
like.
exactly.
I love that weapon. It just doesn't love me.
It's often the case.
Forever alone.
I found, yeah, it's also the case that the weapons are not as kind and considerate as I want to be to them. So this is, I think, similar to the area actually where when I was just kind of watching out of the corner of my eye, Southland Shakers went down. I think it was in this hold, and essentially what happened to them, they got kind of surrounded.
This was the first map I ever played on Death Wish, and we died here by pulling a patrol.
Oh,
and it was
no.
terrifying for me. But yeah, this is generally, so long as there's nothing like a monster or something, it's generally you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, because I think there is a trigger up those steps, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. There's a trigger, and then you can also get a patrol there.
Let's see here. Yeah, I wish I was a little bit more familiar with the map so I kind of knew what to expect, but it definitely seems like a challenging area to kind of have to hold in, to truth be told. Just a lot, obviously, like I think we talked about it on, maybe it was Mission of Mercy and some of the other maps. These sort of tight areas can be a real challenge. So this one just seems to have angles everywhere, which I think is what makes me feel very uncomfortable. There's so many doors and streets and alleys and what have you. It's just like, oh my gosh, how do I watch all of this? But I guess if you're good at the game, you can watch all of it. So
yeah, so I think unfortunately Exon had to go. So it's just the two of us now.
oh well.
But yeah, I wish there was room to say goodbye and thank her for her wonderful shoutcasting today.
I did not realize that. Yeah, I did not see the message from her. But yes, thank you so much, Exon, for everything. And obviously, Exon doing a lot in terms of organizing for charity and stuff as well. It's really a pleasure. Has always been one of the most stalwart members of the community. So thank you so much, Exon, for all your work today.
Exon she's done so much for this community, and she continues to do so much for this community. So really just a shining star for us. Thanks again, Exon. Oof. I mean, looks like we've lost 2 players here on this portion of the map.
And the Iron
getting
Breaker's
a little
bullied.
bit tight, a little bit. I guess you can't jump over that. I would have thought you could jump over that. The Iron Breaker's probably asking the same exact thing, like, why can't I jump over this? I actually don't know where the reses are in this area. Looks like they're down in the next area, so they will have to go through here and basically get very close to starting the event before they can get those reses. I think though with the IB, I mean IB should be able to hold this wave pretty well. There is an assassin in there, but now they've got people up, so I think we're looking pretty okay. I think that was a nice recovery there, and we've pretty much got it. So now on to the event, right? Here's all the heals you get before the event. If I remember correctly, there's at least 1 boss and lots of waves. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just want to say that the Festering 5, who were doing quite well on a Grudge Serve Cold, they did unfortunately just fail. So they are done here. Yeah, you hate to see it.
I mean, Grudge Serve Cold is a hard map. It's a really hard map. So like it's that area right outside the event, right after the event, is, in my opinion, the hardest part of the map. Some people would probably disagree, and that's a fair argument, but like I think that area where they likely wiped is like the hardest area of the map, because there's so many things that can go wrong, and the only way to play it is to play it like extremely safe and take a long time, and it's very disciplined. And these players are like 3-4 hours into their runs, right? So they are they're mentally exhausted. They've had full focus for so long, so
no doubt about it. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Unfortunately, yeah, I think that'll be the end of their runs here for them today. Winging It is still going on that final map of Tier 4, so maybe we'll check in with them after we see what happens here. Warpstone Sniffers, they're still up. Southland Shakers, they're still going through. It looks like In Good Faith, unfortunately, is at the end. And then Ave Sigmar is also still fighting here on a quiet drink. So a couple of 2-3 teams and one tier 4 team still in the mix here.
Okay. Yeah, so looks like the event's kind of what I was describing. They have the bile troll, they've got some waves. Looks like they're doing a little bit of a kite here on the lower area. And I mean, if I remember correctly, the objective of this event is just to live for a certain amount of time. Like, I don't think there's anything you actually have to do. But Handmaiden's not super healthy here. They do have the healing med kit if things go wrong. But yeah, one assassin and their health is really low. That res is kind of unsafe because they're in the gas. So it looks like people are starting to go down, starting to get disabled here. They will get the reses back up, and they probably will get some healing off, but it's like in the blink of an eye, things start becoming a bit more pressured and difficult. Yes, they'll get the healing off, but they still are one teammate down. Can they manage to finish the rest of the event? Looks like they are going to try to phase the troll here with that looks like a successful phase to me. So now the troll cannot go down another time. Like the next time it would die, it dies for real. And their teammates spawning on the second floor there. So they don't really want to go there right now as a team. They can probably send Handmaiden up there, which is what they're going to do to get that res. But if you go up there as a team, the waves climb through that window there that you see the Chaos Warrior saying hi from. And what? Oh? What the hell? Oh,
yeah, I know exactly what you're
sure
talking
they actually
about.
got that
They
res.
They did not.
Oh, that's tragic.
Yeah, it's just down to the Handmaiden, and this is not an ideal situation being chased around by maybe like 10 Chaos Warriors. So.
It is a lot of Chaos Warriors and a boss. I think though, if they can manage to kill this gunner, they do have a real chance of getting that res. But remember, you have a little bit less space going up the stairs than you think because they climb through that little window there and they can try to cut you off. See, they're climbing through there right now. They don't have Handmaiden ult, so I don't think this is safe, personally. Yeah.
Those
I think they pretty much just have to wait for Handmaiden ult.
No.
They do have the drink. Oh no, you have the future knowledge that I don't
have. The future knowledge, and it's not gonna be nice what you see.
No.
As is so often the case, the hook rat gets in at the end there and shuts it down. You hate to see
Tragic.
Yeah, that was a good. It was a good effort. We've seen a lot of Handmaiden. We've seen a lot of Handmaiden kind of not quite clutches, but a Handmaiden sustain here. I mean, Ave Sigmar, they were doing that pretty much constantly. So credit where credit is due to them being able to keep it going. But here we have our last couple of teams. It looks like Winging It is maybe going to be making it to the mid event a little bit faster than No Monks Just Apes, who are one of our last tier 4 squad standing. Obviously, every team that was still like mid-run at the time that we hit the top of the hour there, they do get a chance to play out their runs. I believe that's how that works, right? So
So as long as you start before the end of the tournament, you're allowed to finish that run. You just can't start any more runs once the time is out.
There you have it. So let's see how they handle this. Let's see if Winging It can do anything
particularly spectacular here. We've got Winging It. We've got no Monks Just Apes. Warpstone Stiffers are still up. It looks like the Beauties, obviously we just saw them go down. Southland Shakers is pushing through. They're going to the beer hall right now, so maybe we'll check in with them. And then Ave Sigmar, I think, are in a bit of a rough spot here on a quiet drink, but they are still going for it. So
I got it.
Let's see if we can get Winging It up on a slightly better feed, because I know this one is a little bit pixelated. So let's see what we got.
Yeah, no, this looks pretty crisp to me right now.
Nice.
They're hitting a secret lever there. I'm not sure why. Maybe just for fun.
Because it's there.
That's true.
We got
That's true. So looks like they will survive until the gate opens. So they have started the event officially. Looks like they're not holding in the place that I would have expected them to. I don't know what their plan is here, actually. So I'm kind of curious to see. They'll drop down lower and hold. Oh, it looks like. Okay, well this team's not doing the events. This team is pre-event, unlike the other team we're watching. But I'm curious to see what the other strat pans out to be because I wasn't expecting them to drop and hold the lower area. I was expecting them to hold near the chain.
Yeah, sorry, we're bouncing around just a little bit. So that's this is winging it that we have, and then this is what you were talking about, right? No monks, just apes. With this
got my shield
spot.
blocks.
Yeah,
Nice.
they're ledging a ton.
Nice.
Oh my god. You're right. They're just ledging the whole.
Yeah.
Into the wider area. Yeah, we're good.
Oh, that's
Good job. Good job.
that's a cool strat, and honestly, I kind of expect nothing
No,
less
I
from
didn't.
this
I didn't get
team.
the proxy.
Kazaki's team
Doesn't matter
has
because we dealt with it.
always gone for
Stabby drunk.
I
Yeah,
would
stabby
say
drunk.
very creative and
UG
somewhat cheesy
ledges.
strats for events.
Huge.
Fucking huge.
And
So we're gonna get boss second trigger.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it's boss.
wow.
Is that because we
that's
might get
clean.
double boss?
I mean, that's clean. So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised they found something pretty nice there. Looks like they'll route back up.
That was very efficient. So,
Yeah,
like, that is
I actually
scarily
haven't seen that
efficient.
before. I haven't seen that before, so I was surprised to see that, and clearly they know what they're doing better than me, you know? Like, why hold up there when you can just ledge the entire wave? Makes sense, makes sense. I think they even had a conk pot for it too, because I think I saw multiple charges pretty quick. So,
yeah, you did. They must have done because they seem to hit it really quite fast. I was very impressive. I
yeah,
like that.
for sure. Yeah, it's a reasonable spot for sure. I wonder what the special angles are like, though. Like, I'm curious if they don't have the conk pot, how easy is it to hold there? You know what I'm saying? And also, they might have only really done that just for that big chaos wave. Because now they still have the rest of the waves of the event. It's a very long event, right? So I imagine that they're just doing that for the Chaos Warriors, which are really the main difficulty spike wave-wise, and then for the rest of the waves, they're going to make their way back up to like a more traditional spot to hold. I'm guessing that they don't continue to hold down there because I bet the special ankles are awkward. And generally, what determines a good hold spot on Dutch and above is special angles. So,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, because like generally at this level, teams can hold out waves. Even if there's a lot in front of them, that's usually not the problem. The problem is like specials casting from weird sight lines, and then your special sniper can't quite get on top of it as quickly as you'd like, and that leads to a wipe or increased pressure. So.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's always interesting to hear you talk about things like that because I would never, or not never, but it would take me a while, I think, to get to the idea of like, oh yeah, don't forget about special angles and stuff. But I guess when you're setting up hold spots where your team is essentially going to be fighting for their life, that is something that really does truly matter. By the way, I've got a question for you because we were talking about this yesterday. Where do you come down on the nature of snow-covered Skaven log?
And what do you mean? I'm not
Well,
sure
some people play with a mod, right, that intentionally removes the snow covered Skaven, like, right, it's just like they're just regular looking dudes. Are you a snow hater, or are you capable of fighting without the snow? Because I think it was Incan or Noel, I can't remember which one, maybe Noel, who said that he just can't do it with the snow ones, like he has to have the mod.
Oh, I see. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think it's a big deal if you want to play with a mod that removes the snow or not. Because it's not like it's buffing their damage or anything. It's just like changing their visibility, I guess.
Sure.
And I don't know if it was actually intended to make them harder to see. I think it was just intended to be an aesthetic effect. So I'm a little indifferent, like enjoy modded realm how you like is kind of
there you go. Laissez-faire, sure. Live and let live.
I mean, we're all cheaters here, so cheater realm players are welcome to, remove the aesthetic difficulty of the game. Yeah,
you're cheating the wrong way. Cheats are supposed to make the game trivial. You made it harder. That's not how those work.
Oh, I mean, you know,
Whoops.
that's just because we wouldn't be able to clear official realm. You know,
Yeah,
we
you're
have to
right.
make
Yeah,
the game more
Wouldn't be
suitable
able
to our skills. So
wouldn't be able to clear official realm. Cataclysm. Oh no, couldn't do it. No way.
yeah. Have you ever played Dark Omens on veteran? I don't think I've seen a single person ever
I
clear that.
you
So
know what? I actually I would believe that.
mhm.
I hate that
Yeah.
map. I think that was in one of the. I swear that was in one of these once, Dark Omens, and it was just foul to watch. But maybe not because it's just Beastmen, so maybe not. I swear I watched it on one of these
Yeah.
streams.
So
But
Dark Omens is a really weird map for modded content because it's actually like easier than other modded maps in terms of like the strategies that you execute on that map. But also it depends on whether you play with Beastmen or not. So I'm pretty sure all these players are playing with a mod called No Beastmen,
yes,
which is a mod that removes Beastmen from the game because they add like they're not really a
so
balanced enemy type
disgusting.
and they add a lot of variability. Um, Now there are other difficulty mods like Linesmen that try to rebalance Beastmen and make them a little bit more fair and mix in with the hordes, and I would say to great success. Like the Beastmen on Linesmen feel really good.
Okay.
And so, but if you're playing that map without Beastmen, it's pretty easy to
Weird.
be honest.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the end event you can just kite, and there's a very safe kite. And there's like a couple mid areas that are like tricky because the terrain is kind of screwed up. But like the actual strats of the events and stuff are not so bad
I
on Dark Omens. Um,
find it so funny that there's mods to remove Beastmen from modded. I mean, I totally get why. It's just funny because like one of the memes about Beastmen in the tabletop setting back in Warhammer Fantasy, and then again when they made Age of Sigmar, was that everybody hated Beastmen and they were like the redheaded stepchild of chaos, and nobody ever wanted to like have an army of Beastmen, and they didn't ever release rules for the
yeah,
Beastmen. So it's really
well, I
funny
think it's
that everybody's just like, we hate them, get them out of the game.
well, I think it's just that they don't really scale very well.
Yeah.
Like they're fine. I
Oh,
genuinely think Beastmen are
run.
fine on official. I think
Yeah.
there's no problem with Beastmen on official. It's just on modded. Like when you get like 4 banners in one location, it's like it's pretty BS.
Yeah, I can see
It's
that.
pretty BS. So
Gosh, this is a
um,
grind on this
I
map.
find it understandable that people want to remove it. Now, some trivia for you, because I know too much trivia.
Go
Looks like
for
they're
it.
gonna ledge the whole wave
I
again.
just watched the
Um,
whole like a literal
yeah,
tidal
there it
wave of
goes.
Skaven sent over the edge. That was very funny. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, the trivia is that the No Beastman mod has only a single line in it.
Oh,
And
really?
it yeah, and it doesn't what it doesn't do is like replace Beastmen with normal enemies or something like that. What it does is it tricks your game into thinking that you don't
Uh-oh.
own the DLC, but you can still access
Oh,
the DLC levels.
oh, that's
So what this
clever.
does is it means that Beastmen won't spawn on the map, basically. Um,
Oh, huh. That is very clever.
Yeah, it's just like it's just a funny little trivia for the fans out there. Maybe don't know the history. Um, but
Well, there you go. It does. I
so
will say, by the way, it does look like the Southland Shakers, who are on their second attempt at a quiet drink. Unfortunately, they did not make it through.
that's so
I wanna
tragic.
pull up
Unfortunately.
Ave Sigmar really quick because they are on the tavern event. We've only seen one other team get here and try this, I think, so far. So let's see how they handle it as well. Because I have a feeling that mid event is just gonna, or the mid event on the other map is just gonna keep going. We could be here for like another hour. So let me pull up
Yeah,
Ave
that
Sigmar.
mid event is long. We can
It
come
just
back, but
keeps on going.
um,
And we've seen how
so
they play it. We know what they're doing now, so we got an idea of what it looks like. So let's get Ave Sigmar up here and
yeah,
see how they're handling this. I'm gonna update the feed
looks
so it's
like
gonna jump just a little bit.
looks like they've got the full force of the Chaos Warriors here, though. The
It's
Chaos
gonna
Warriors
jump.
have
It's gonna
definitely
jump.
spawned in. And then we time warp a little bit to when the Chaos Warriors
Yes.
are dead. Some nice damage there. Really good
Somebody
move.
killed it. We don't know
Yep,
who.
someone killed it. And so now they're more willing to go upstairs to the second level, mainly because the bottom area is burning up, but also because they're now to the next phase of the event, which are Skaven waves, as you can see. So we have Storm Vermin, some Plague Monks, etc. And so far, they've got all 4 people alive, and I know this team has been intentionally or unintentionally making use of the handmaiden clutches. So, so they're not in that situation so far, so that seems pretty good. One player did go down there on the stairs. That is a really dangerous spot. So they're probably gonna try and get out of there really quick. Ivy's a little bit stuck here, but you can do a little bit of shimmying against the wall, and you should be able to get through. So they're recovered and back up, but it looks like the Battle Wizard did die during that exchange, so they didn't quite get saved, unfortunately. I think their next spawn is actually it's either on this floor or the next area. So I think it's on this floor in the back corner behind IB, if I remember correctly, near where that healing is. I think that's where they spawn. Okay, I didn't see the dodge animation, so I wasn't sure if they actually dodged that pack grab. And I was kind of
it was a little worrying there for a second.
Punching my teeth a little bit,
They made it though. They made it. Still going, but did they have disconnect from the wizard? Oh, the wizard's reconnecting. Okay, all right, that's unfortunate.
I see. I think if the wizard reconnects, I don't know if they will reconnect dead, but in the spawn location. So I don't think that's an issue. I don't think they come back to the map alive or something like that.
No, they don't. You still have to rescue them. It just they're in that spot. They will get them back up. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So they're it's not quite where I thought it was, but it's still around. So,
honestly, this is looking okay. I mean, we've seen this particular team. I think I feel bad because I think most of the times that we've had them on stream, it's looked like they were in significant amounts of trouble. You know, the Merite or Merit was just dodging around, trying to get people back up and over again on repeat. But this time, actually, they seem like they're really pretty much in control of this. I don't know if the boss spawn that we're going to be seeing here maybe will mess that up, though. A rat ogre, not the worst thing, I guess, you could deal with, right? So...
yeah, I mean, and they're prepared for it because I'm pretty sure the Rat Ogre is a guaranteed spawn in the event. Either that or Troll or Chaos spawn. You're guaranteed to get some monster. They are out of Troll Hammer ammo. There is an ammo bag right there. And they do have Battle Wizard to help tickle down that monster. They got the Grell Knight as well. So I really think this Ogre is just going to get shredded. I don't think they're going to have too much problem with it. Specials up right now are wait. Oh, that's friendly fire down.
Yeah, friendly fire down. Yeah, but they got them. They're gonna get the ogre though. That's the thing. You'll see in just a second. They managed to pull this ogre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This ogre is dead, and just in time before the next waves. So that was really good timing to kill that ogre. So that means now that the hold is a little bit more stable. They do have. Oh, Grell Knight just got absolutely shredded. So it looks like Grell Knight is dead, and he will probably res on this floor as we expected before, or maybe.
You think they're gonna push on? They're just gonna leave
maybe
him?
They just move on, which makes sense because they have the handmaiden to clutch if they need to. So really, they're probably more interested in just getting to the end, getting done with the tournament. Handmaiden also has the conch pod, so they are they have a lot of security. Because remember, they are running Invis Handmaiden right now, so that conch pod is a massive amount of safety. And the Waystone is really close, if I remember correctly. So I don't know, commentators curse, but I think they're
gonna get a chance for the res too, by the looks of it. I don't actually remember how far from this point it is to the end, but yeah, I think you might be right.
It's not very far. They're pretty close, and again, they have that conch pod on the handmaiden and a healing drought on the handmaiden. I think this is fine. I think they've pretty much got it, which is why they're not fighting the waves.
Run.
I think you just go a little bit across this area and you're good.
Yep, Ponta Umbris. Yeah, they're there. Umbris, they're well done. They might be, and I don't know about the Chinese teams are the only one, but they might be the first team to ever clear a quiet drink on modded difficulty in one of these. So in a tournament setting. So good for them. That's exciting.
Yeah, nice work. It's
Maybe
nice to
split from
see
us.
that W after some of their other maps.
Yeah.
were a
Yeah,
little bit
that is
quirky.
nice.
Elf needs to be front.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like, okay, so Kazaki's team, you know,
got
look at
shoved.
this. They're doing exactly what I said. They're going forward, going back, going forward, going back,
Get back.
testing
Yeah,
the
go.
trigger.
Elf after this is all clear.
See, now they're going to hark back to
Stress,
the earlier area of the map, because now the wave is coming in, so they're going to hold up here. Yeah, this map is far from over, even though they have cleared the mid-event. They still have to make it all the way down, clear any triggers in the next area, get through the lake, then get through the area that's pre the big stairs.
Oh,
Then the big
God.
stairs is a whole nother area that's slow to get through.
Well,
And then you have the end event after that.
I
The
didn't have
end
anything
event
going
is
else on
really...
today. So we'll keep it going.
Well, good, 'cause we'll be here
I'm
a
sticking
while,
with I'm
hopefully.
sticking with. They'll probably be the last team that we cover, and we'll see how far No Monks Just Apes can go. But yeah, that is you paint an intimidating picture there, Log, of how much farther this map has.
To be fair, the end event to this map is very easy, actually. Like the end event is extremely chill, and I think part of that is because I think it's like not finished. Like I think basically it's just the official event, and no one has actually like
Nobody's made
a
it
modded
horrible
event
yet.
for it. Right. So it's just like official with more waves, which should be fine. So because I remember back when I played the map, the end event was like totally fine. So it's really just, I think the main difficulty spikes are the lake and like the second or third level of the stairs are a little bit tricky. So, but they've got a nice tanky comp for it, and they've gotten through that event, that mid event, which I think is definitely a big difficulty spike. So, looks like they are getting in their prayers to Sigmar
Yeah, I'm
before
not
they
sure
move on to the
exactly
next area.
I'm not sure exactly what we're doing at this point, to be honest. We also have Winging It, I should say. I think they're still at it as well, the other tier 4 team. I mean, I can pull them up really quick. I can't remember if that's the lake or not that you were talking about, but
this is the lake.
yeah, so they're also
and
made
they're
some
getting
good
hooked.
progress.
Well, it's not a good spot right now. Flamer and Gas, and the whole team is in it. They will get that res, but that bounty hunter is on 1 HP.
I got salts.
Keep it together.
Yeah, he will go down. All three go down at the same time.
Oh
which makes
no! Will they get their revive
But-
though?
Oh, on me, on me.
Oh no!
Yeah, they'll at least get one or two. Oh, you have foresight though.
No. I actually have not really been able to see this one because I'm trying to open a different display,
okay.
so
Save him.
I don't know
So,
what's happening.
looks like
I'm getting a
everyone-
commercial for San Diego, which is admittedly a beautiful city, but not germane
You'll
to
get a
the
good spawn, just come back
side
in.
stream.
I see. So everyone did go down, but they have all 4 players alive. They're about to lose bounty hunter. They lost quick.
Oh no!
So losing sister there is really bad because now they can't lift the specials. And I think it's basically gonna come down to Guz here.
Gosh, this is
Um,
brutal though.
Yeah, to be fair, this is a player though who kind of thrives in these situations. I mean, Guz is comfortable kiting enemies by himself, and he does like sort of playing this way. So, I mean, if he doesn't die to the gunner, we've got a real chance. He's gonna have to generate some temps somehow. Yeah, and it's not gonna be able to do it. So.
That's just rough.
Tough. So looks like they're done with their run.
He's off. Marked.
So
Nice.
really, the last run we have, I think, is
No Monks
the
Just
basketball,
Apes.
right?
Yeah, No Monks Just
Yeah,
Apes.
yeah.
Right, good things.
To the bitter end.
So it looks like
Try not
they
to.
actually cleared the.
I stay next to project.
Did they go back to the mid event? I think they did. They got. Oh, I can't tell where they are. I actually can't tell where they are.
I can't tell
They're-
where
I can
they
deal
are
with the
either.
elites.
I
as
think
much
they're at
as
the mid
possible.
event. Yeah. So I think it's exactly how I described. They got that like horrible trigger with the ogre at the very
And then
end
they
by
ran
the
away.
lake. And then they basically ran away all the way back to the mid event. Because remember, they were kind of doing that inching game of like, do we get the trigger? Do we get the trigger? Do we get the trigger? And now they've got it and they're bringing it back, which they should be like. This is a much better area to fight the ogre here than the prior one. So this should be pretty clean ogre kill for them because it's mostly just trash. Other than the ogre, so I think things are gonna go pretty okay. Looks like they still have 2 healing pots and a speed pot on the dwarf in case it's a clutch scenario. They probably would really prefer to have. What happened to the ogre there? Oh, did it go inside the wall? What? Anyways, I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me, but it looked like the ogre went inside the wall. So yeah, so I think once they kill this ogre, they're going to be a lot more confident walking through the next area. Although, if they get any waves, they're going to back up to like a mini hold spot. So I think, I don't know if they're just going to like barrel through or if they're just going to barrel like halfway through. But they're at least going to make progress now, finally. And so they will have that lake to get through, which we did see the previous team wipe at, unfortunately. Looks like they're getting a little bit of a wave, so they're actually going back again, because, again, this team has infinite time if they want. They just have to try to clear the map, because they can no longer start a run at this point, but they're allowed to finish this one. So now, like when they get a big horde or wave like that, they don't want to fight it in that canyon area. That canyon area is tight. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, and I think they're basically just trying to avoid that area as long as possible, which makes sense, right? As many hordes as they can fight in this mid event or after the mid event, they're happy. So
Sure.
looks
Oh,
pretty solid.
I saw the
far.
update in the chat that feeling sleepy had cleared the ogre, and I realized that, and I feel terrible for this because of course it's Gennadi's team. But yeah, we didn't have feeling sleepy on the stream. I'm so sorry. Oh no.
Oh,
And then I went to
no.
switch over to them to put them on, and they had just died. No.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Gennady. Oh no. I'm sorry. We were
You know,
really
it was just our effort to not give you caster curse.
we were really hitting a bandwidth cap in terms of like stream quality, so not everyone was making it on, but we should have made an effort to get feeling sleepy on there. I do apologize. But don't worry, there'll be future
Unfortunate,
tournaments, so
yeah, so
yes, this is going to be a grinder though, because I think we're a little over halfway on this map.
I would say in terms of difficulty, they are a little over halfway. In terms of actual time, I don't know if they're even halfway. Like, you have to play the rest of this map like extremely slowly and carefully. And it looks like Foot Knight actually got hooked there, but they used the Warrior Priest bubble to give them a save. So that's a really nice play there. They do have not Flames Fury. They do have just Righteous Fury up right now, so they should be clearing waves a bit quicker and stabilizing here. Yeah, I'm curious how they deal with the stairs area. There are a bunch of different ways to do it, and none of them are good. So I'm really curious what they elect to do, because they tend to find some really creative and sort of more consistent strats for events in tough areas. So yes, they just got to the lake. The lake sometimes can have an absolute metric ton of ads in that area. So looks like, though, pretty chill. I'm not seeing a huge what?
No.
Oh.
I hate that. I hate everything that just happened right there.
Oh wow.
That's
brutal.
just
So what happened there is, I think they're jumping around to the right, possibly to avoid a trigger. And
oh my god.
they just got sniped by an absolutely insane assassin pounce there. They're going back to this corner. I think that gives the most favorable spawn. Now, Warrior Priest gives a lot of safety to this team, so it's really unfortunate player to lose in this situation.
That is,
I think if you were to
what
lose
a bad way
player,
to go.
You'd want to lose your Slayer, to be honest.
Yeah.
And as I say that, I should just never talk, you know? I should just never speak.
A Slayer that's wearing a
Alright,
helmet, no less. I don't like. It's just come on
Okay,
now.
okay. Well, at least this trio, I think should be able to like trio waves. Like we got Warrior Priest Bubble, they've got a little bit of sustain, they've got special sniping, and they've got stagger. So it's tense but recoverable. I think they've got this if they work together and play really well. They do have the ogre coming in, which is going to make things really obnoxious. The ogre did just ledge someone, which is really unfortunate because I think that was their foot knight, which was their plan, was to ledge the ogre in this area.
Maybe the
Oh
foot
my
knight.
god!
Yeah, this
I
is
think this is going to. This is
GG's.
not
I think.
looking good. Yeah, I mean he has warrior priest bubbles, so he might be able to get through. No,
No, because he's just
immediately
stuck
killed
in the
after the
same
pop.
space. Too many
That is
bodies.
like so brutal. Oh my god. The assassin count.
The assassin pounce
Yikes.
really put a spanner in the works.
Wait, Foot Knight's still up.
I was gonna say
Foot
Foot Knight's still up, and so is Slayer. So they do have a chance. They're not completely done. They can maybe make this work,
Yeah,
but this is gonna be really hard.
This is gonna be very hard. Yep. Our fingers are crossed for him. It's definitely possible. Like definitely possible.
Just don't swap swinging those axes, whatever you do. And then just the gun line in the back, by the way, just making this that much more fun.
Although, to be honest, if you're going to have a special that's not going to die for a while, having a gun rat that's far away is probably one of the least bad specials to get.
Yeah.
They do have a shield, so as long as they have Foot Knight charge, they do get that res for sure.
They got Waystalker up, I think. So,
but they didn't actually get the res off. I swear. So they must have had like some input error there, because what he was trying to do was start the res and then do the dash. Oh no, not this point blank pounce. It's just a little bit too sketchy. These assassins are a problem. He's gonna have to jump here to be safe, and he doesn't jump, but does get saved by the rat ogre, and doesn't get his ult back in time, and that's gonna be it.
Well, it was a valiant effort there at the end.
That is painful. Yikers.
Just a quick reminder here as we come to the end of the stream for today that everything today was done in favor of APOPO, which is a charity that trains giant African pouched rats to detect landmines, to detect tuberculosis. They're a very excellent organization as an NGO. They've already cleared, I think, 100 million square meters of land across Africa, East Asia, the Middle East. They're doing a lot of work to make the world a better place. So the donation link is still pinned here by Exxon on the Twitch chat. You can also check out the Discord. I think at the time that we were at the midway through the stream, Exxon was saying that we'd raised as a community $5,000 for this charity, so that's great for a niche gaming community to pull that together. Big ups.
That's incredible.
It really is. That's
like,
a lot of money for charity. I for a grassroots sort of fundraiser, that's a very big donation. So everybody should be really proud of participating in that. And then it's been a really interesting day. We've had our tier 1 yesterday. We've had our tier 3 and 4, tier 1 and 2 yesterday, tier 3 and 4 today. Really enjoyed seeing all these teams hard at work. If you didn't get featured on the stream, I do apologize. There's only so much room and only so much time, but there will be other tournaments in the future, but know that your efforts in rat slaying are definitely acknowledged. Locke, anything you want to say here at the end?
No, it's been a great day at Shoutcast. It's been really fun, sort of helping represent this amazing community, and got some really high quality Vern gameplay today. Some unfortunate losses, but tense moments, fun moments, and just another awesome tournament. So thank you so much to everyone who participated, everyone who helped organize the tournament. Big thanks to people like Genodi and Exen for all the work they do behind the scenes. Incan, work for he does behind the scenes, and others. There's so many others that there's so many people who helped put this tournament on. I think we got Plasma and Cooley as well.
Yep.
Core for working on the mod. Of course, to you, Corbeck, for helping Shoutcast today and manage all of the streams. I think just thanks to everyone. And of course, thanks to the community, because again, what separates us from a lot of other games is just that our community is awesome. It is so welcoming. It is so helpful. and like we raised $5,000 for
Yeah.
a rat charity. Like, let's go, it's awesome.
It is it is indeed awesome. And yeah, just a reminder, if you are new or you've just watched this for the first time, or you are a Vermintide player who found us somehow and you're interested in getting into modded difficulty, you can find the link for the Discord to the Onslaught series community down there in the one of the panels on the Twitch channel. But yeah, I think, Lonk, you said everything. You thanked everybody who needed to be thanked. Of course, thank you as well, Lonk, for showing up today, and a big thank you to Exon, who was here as our shoutcaster but did have to leave a little bit early. But I do believe that's going to wrap it up for all of us. Pay attention to the Discord for announcements about future tournaments. We'll be announcing the winners, I believe, after scores have been tabulated, so maybe in a few days. And of course, we'll be putting a final donation number on the charity efforts there as well. But for now, from all of us here at Fight the Tide community, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.